versus collect 3 conch shells to summon a portal to Hecaton's court, root out the evil within. That's where it starts.
Yeah, essentially, like previous giant councils would gather here, and with 3 of the conchs, basically 3 members of the various factions would have to all be on the same page or come to some sort of agreement to open a portal to the Maelstrom, which is where the Storm Giant's court, palace, or kingdom lies beneath the sea.
Who's Hecaton?
King Hecaton was the king of all the...
This dude's dad?
No.
King
King Hecaton was the head of all the Storm Giants, which were at the top of the Ordning, and whatever's going on there, whether he's dead or fallen from power, his grasp on his peoples is no longer in control.
That's how this all started. Was Imrith got herself into a position as an advisor on his
See, you did learn things.
Yeah.
So there you
Well,
go.
no, we've known that forever. That was like the first thing we learned.
I didn't know that.
And either she somehow caused the Ordning to be shattered, or is using it as a springboard for whatever she's doing. We don't know.
And do we have the conch shell?
We have 1.
We used 1 already.
So we have it.
We have 1. We need 2 more.
Do we actually own it still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we just need the other.
Can we do it, or
Oh,
do
no,
the
wait,
giants need to blow?
we don't have it anymore.
I have.
You have it? How do you have it?
Is it grabbed from
Harshnag?
Oh, okay.
I'll use that shell.
Yeah, it's in a giant size.
It's pretty large.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's like bigger than
Yeah.
me, probably.
Oh, well, it's in the bag of holding.
Probably like,
Is it that big?
yeah.
Because we had one that was like that.
It's a giant horn, right? I mean, it's got to be
Yeah.
It's
pretty.
magical, so it can, it could be whatever size.
Alright,
you
let's
want
say that.
it to be.
Let's say that. That's
Like
okay.
a little
Harshnag's
whistle.
hands, it's, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
These
Okay.
look
Sand
like
has it, it sounds like a
big,
penny
strong
Yeah.
I think I
hands
was
to
turned to
you.
15, so I can carry lots of stuff.
So we also know that Golden Dragon, our friend, what's his face?
Brady,
yeah.
what's your
He's
strength?
trapped in
He's
pool.
trapped
Douglas?
That.
Lindar Mall,
What's your
the
strength?
Sansary's palace.
Okay. So we have to go there.
So, yeah, the last you had heard, Felglos was seeking out Countess Sansuri, who has a cloud giant floating castle as well.
The same floating
The
castle
weakest is 15.
as this dude?
You don't believe so.
Well, it's 2016.
Damn, you guys are about 20?
20 what? I'm 21.
Your strength is 21?
Strength and AC.
Oh, sorry.
Your strength is
Your strength's 20.
yours.
Show us those
You got it.
guns.
We strong.
Problem is, strength doesn't really
And
matter
last-
very much for me, so it's
We
not.
got out of the Oracle thing, and then stupid Dragon Lady came. Was fighting.
Dragon Lady. Wait, Dragon Lady?
And we ran
Yeah.
away.
I don't
See,
remember
this
that
is
part.
12. How
Oh,
big is
the
dragon?
dragon that was busting in, right?
Goddamn dragon. Then Harshnag was fighting her, and
Is
then
there a term for
He
female
told us
dragon? Is it like
run away.
a dragon maiden?
stupid person. That's what we call it.
I don't know.
A Gritch.
Oh, I'm actually tied with a booby. Damn it.
So what, strength?
Yeah.
Yeah, so after your enlightening session with the Oracle, you headed back into the main chamber of the Eye of the Allfather, and
Going down.
basically Imrith, the ancient blue dragon, had returned and smashed her way through eventually, and Harshnag and her were very much like the reliefs on the doors of this location, embroiled in an ancient battle of fierce giant versus crazy strong dragon. And despite your efforts to quote-unquote help, he basically implored you to get the fuck out while he held her back so that you could get to the bottom of this and finish.
They're like mosquitoes attacking someone.
Yeah.
Ah.
I think we might have gotten
Finish
rid of
the task set
lower
upon
shade
you.
of green, although maybe we didn't.
Yeah,
I saw that. I saw it like the shade of green.
Yeah.
slightly lighter shade of green.
We did some.
Yeah.
And what we do? We did about 100 points of damage.
And as the spine of the world shivers underneath this crazy battle, You all flee outside of the main pillared entrance to this place.
Can we brought the temple down from it? Yeah.
Looks like when I bring out a temple in the SNES Final Fantasy.
Yeah. And the entrance and the pillars begin to collapse down around you. If anything, Harshnag has secured the main entrance from a dragon being able to emerge forth. And as you kind of head back on this like giant frozen walkway that sits above just a bottomless ravine, again you see in the distance a massive large red balloon kind of jutting out through the snowstorm that's blowing all around you. And it's not quickly, not slowly, somewhere in between, steadily approaching as you kind of walk down this frozen pathway.
Oh, that's good, because we were going to die out here. It's cold.
What are you doing? What would you
Guys,
like
how was
to do?
Do we know anything about this airship? We just know that there's an airship.
Are there any like recognizable markings on it?
No. There is just from this distance, just a very large red balloon. And what appears to be like a ship, almost like with a sled at the bottom and like a spear-tipped sort of front.
Maybe they're friendly guys.
Does it look like it's coming towards us?
It does.
It already sees us, perhaps?
It appears to be coming towards you, yes.
Alright, let's just head towards it. What else can we do?
I can go
We
in
can't
this
stay out
one.
here. It's kind of cold.
Yeah.
It's cold.
I can go invisible and fly up and check it out.
Let's hope for the best, guys.
Sure.
So,
Go in that snowstorm.
do that.
This is how you done it.
No, let's just wait for it.
Yeah.
Alright.
How far is it? Like a kilometer away? Or?
If you continue moving or kind of stay planted, I mean, you feel like they'd be here in about 5 minutes or so.
I mean, we could hide if it seems like they're coming this way anyways and just see who they are.
Okay, some of you hide and
It's fine. I'm gonna go hide.
Let's just be. This is the only way out. We know the way out of
I'll
here.
stay to greet them just in case.
You are a pirate. Can you take
Yeah.
over this vessel?
Oh, you can be captain.
Probably.
Let's just
Have you
assume.
flown the boat before?
Flown, yes. Landed, no.
Okay, let's move forward. I'm gonna move forward at least.
Commandeer.
Across the
I'm
bridge.
gonna take out the water magic missiles and snap it for it.
Oh, this is suspicious.
Have you not paid attention?
Yeah, no, every time we need to move, they just-
That's her MO.
Okay, right now, thank you.
Ooh, you caught me.
As was really excited for veggies last night.
I know. What's the
It's cheese and
I'm helping a friend get furniture. So.
Rude.
and then stopping for Chinese hot
Okay, I'm
pot.
gonna grab a chair.
Good.
There's some plates. Oh, you got it.
You want some, Jason?
Yeah. I'll take a mini spread.
While it's there.
Is the pony inside?
I believe you brought the pony out. We won't tokenize it.
My pony?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't see him by himself.
That poor pony.
I wouldn't have left it inside.
You
Oh,
should get a
you actually
magical.
wrote it out.
You should get a magical horse like me,
My horse is magical.
but it's real. It's a real pony.
The horse in the sands.
Never stopped talking about. Oh, now I raised friends with everyone.
Oh yeah.
She doesn't need to be different.
So what Titus is saying is, look at his horse. His horse is amazing.
My horse is beautiful and
Thanks, sir.
majestic.
Give him a lick. Take this like reason.
Really pretty.
God, you would love your horse.
And if we need to, we can eat it, and then it'll just reappear later.
No. No.
Okay. What are you doing?
We are moving forward.
Yeah, not fighting.
Alright.
Are we, or we're just gonna
At a
wait?
leisurely pace.
usually be.
Steadily.
You gotta act like you don't care. Like, we don't have to.
Medium, please.
Sure.
Well, I don't know how much math there is.
All right. So you all just kind of stoically walk forward in the storm.
Oh,
The
it's
eye of the
storm?
All-Father is literally like the earthquakes and tremors shuddering behind you.
Cool people walking away.
Yep.
It's like watching Reservoir Dogs.
This fight is still going on. We can hear it.
Well, I mean, whatever happened is causing, like, I mean, this is a massive temple in the side of a massive mountain, and things are Indiana Jones collapsing, shuddering.
Yeah, it's actually kind of true. There's no guarantee this dragon's not
You
gonna
are
get out.
on
It's pretty big.
some
right?
sort of bridge that sits above a bottomless nothing.
Oh,
Okay,
far
maybe
as
we
you
should
can
pick
tell.
up the
Yeah,
pace a
let's
little
pick
bit.
up the
Alright, I
pace
see
now.
what you're saying. Alright, we're moving to
Isn't there options are if they're friendly, see if they can give us a ride the hell out of here.
Oh,
Not,
that looks cool.
we need to just get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
We don't wanna
commandeer.
be
We're
here.
gonna commandeer it.
Alright, never mind. Let's
Awesome.
move with haste
Up.
across this bridge.
Yeah, before the bridge falls apart. Let's do that.
Flighty fools.
Alright, you begin moving with a slight amount more of haste. And after a few minutes, this thing gets bigger and bigger, and you can see it more clearly now. It's got like a weird propeller, some massive like flame, filling up this enormous red sort of netted balloon that is carrying this like ship sled. And it kind of like comes like not a graceful landing, and just kind of like peels out in like along the snow atop the ice on the bridge in front of you, to the point where it almost goes over the far side of the edge, but then like
Oh my god.
you see it shoot a harpoon and like it anchors down into the ice and quickly goes taut.
That would have been interesting. It goes over the edge.
Yeah, well, alright.
Well,
It rolled a
This
natural
shit.
1 on its landing.
How big is it? How many
Quite-
rolls?
quite massive. I don't know.
A proper ship.
Yeah.
Frigate.
Um,
Like one of those squares.
it stands about, I don't know. I'm not good with distances.
It's a big ass boat.
It'd be a big ass boat. It'll be about another minute for you to walk to it, and you can kind of see, kind of like stepping forward, like foot on the brow, a very identifiable black suited dragon cultist masked fella,
Oh god.
kind of standing up on the thing. And
To the
say,
dicks.
Fabric.
Hail! Hail, we come in peace! It's I, Favrik!
Oh, Jesus, this one.
I've brought some friends!
Oh, that guy.
Alright.
I don't remember Favrik. Somebody. Wait, I actually probably
Yeah,
never met
yeah.
Favrik.
You
Yes,
never met him.
yes.
What else, Favrik?
Yes, you can kind of hear him like echoing,
He's,
like through the
dragging
ravine,
cultist.
like kind of through the storm, like, yes, yes, don't worry, Nirvan, I'll get it.
They're a bit.
Remember the other douchebags that came
We'll
to
fit
us
right in.
Oh,
in
he
the,
wasn't,
in
he
the
wasn't
cloud
there.
tower? Oh, you weren't there?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
I
Cloud
mean, we
Tower.
were with the cloud, the peeping tom guy, and then they came with some sort of demand from.
Jaden was
some
there, or
big
you know.
giant
Ryan
red-
doesn't know.
Oh, well, I'm just telling you. Ryan.
Ryan knows.
I know.
Oh, Ryan doesn't. Oh, you were. Oh.
RP.
You didn't say oh geez or anything. I didn't.
Oh man, who are these guys?
Got the voice.
They seem like idiots. I'll fit right in.
All right, let's go to the ship.
Okay.
Is there any way we
I
can
lift up
come
my
to this
hand.
pirate guy?
Yeah.
Hey,
How do you come in
Fabro.
here?
What's his name? Fabric.
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 No.
If they let us on board, we knock them all out. No, we might need them to drive the thing.
Don't worry about.
Well, I mean, they were harmless.
Yeah, if we wanted to, we could take them all out pretty easily. I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go to the ship.
Should we
Okay.
ask if we can board ahoy?
Yeah, you can.
You're just all approaching?
You don't know me.
Yeah, we're
I'm
approaching.
half dragon. My name is Maximus. Dragomus.
He's a tortoise dragon.
Yeah.
A snapping dragon?
I might look like a turtle, but more dragon. Can we board your boat with him?
Ship. The ship.
What a fine ship.
I recognize some of you. and he kind of gestures and like slowly filing in, and then you're kind of like looking up at them like a cruise ship, you know, like you're walking up and you see them above. And filing in behind him is the other cultist member you recognize, Navan, and several others that you recognize from Zephyros' tower, and a bunch more. I think about 8 all told. And Favrik kind of like smiling, you know, like and gesturing towards you all down below. He says, "We come to you on behalf of Cloth, the great dragon of the north. Cloth offers you this vessel and our services as a gift, so that you, not us, may cross his vast dominion while avoiding the many perils of the land below. Again, we will only be servicing the ship and your needs. We will not partake in any of your adventurous plans. War against the giants is inevitable at this point, per Cloth's great gifts of foresight, and the great dragon commands you forge ahead and face your destinies. The ordering of the giants is indeed broken, and they are not united. But Cloth, ever watchful, has seen that if you slay their leaders, you may yet prevail and find an opportunity to seek out the Maelstrom. If you succeed in quelling this giant threat, Cloth will reward you further with both friendship and treasure, and offer a personal invite to his secluded vale, so that he can reward your bravery more properly. Now, these initial services, while generous and here for the taking, do not come without the previously agreed upon payment that one of you procured back at the tower. And they turns and looks at Sifla,
I've got your payment
kind of just gestures for one of the other cultists to come forward, who's like got a quill and a ledger.
We're on
He
the
says,
ship now? Or
he's standing forward. They're gesturing for you to come aboard. They drop a ladder down over the
Wow,
side.
they were pontificating. Okay. So we're on the
Yes.
we're on the ship.
Alright.
Yes, while
Apparently Tifa's doing something with that.
While Favrik was pontificating, the other cultists were dropping a few ladders over the side.
Okay.
Can I climb one of the ladders? Or
Yeah, what exactly did we
surprise, she's a dragon cultist.
Knew it.
This whole time.
Okay, yeah, I've got your payment here. Is it everything?
We negotiated a lump sum total of at least 20,000 gold pieces.
Whoa. Did we?
Do we have 20,000
don't.
gold pieces?
I have the,
Sifa did?
The
it's all
Navan gestures for their accountant to come forward. And he's kind of like gesturing towards your belongings, says, "What have you accumulated for us? Cloth accepts payment in all forms should we appraise the value to be
Okay.
appropriate."
Amex,
well, we can start with insurance.
I've streamlined it based off of outside conversations.
Yeah.
Does she have enough, or like?
How much gold do I have?
Does.
I got some magic weapons.
You
that I
do?
can
You have
sell.
20,000 Gs?
Well,
So-
I don't have that much gold.
Not actual gold.
Yeah. Well, I have 10 gold
There you go.
teeth.
Wow.
Jesus.
Just
oh,
to-
yes, that's still the value.
Just
Oh my
to
God.
streamline things
Wow.
a bit.
Dang.
In a very comical 20 minutes of evaluation, Navan, an appraiser, and another cultist who is going through a ledger says, 2 aquamarines, that's about 500 gold piece, 2 black sapphires, 1,000 gold piece each, 2 bloodstones at 50 gold piece each. Your bracers of archery, you're willing to give these up, then that would be 500 gold pieces. 2 carnelian gems, 50 gold pieces, a beautiful antique golden mask, 5,000 gold pieces, 430 actual gold pieces, 2 very, very fancy hairpins valued at about 1,000 gold pieces each, a jet gem at a 500 gold piece, a beautiful jewelry box, which many of these jewels are lying within, about 5,000 gold pieces, 1 pearl, 100 gold pieces, a very rare pink diamond, 5,000 gold pieces, silver necklace with fire emerald, 200 gold pieces, and 16 star rose quartz, about 3,680 gold pieces. So,
You've really been holding out on us.
all
I have
told,
65 gold.
this is a more than generous offer, and they're like just kind of like almost like Jawas, just sort of combing through your shit.
Was it 20, right?
I got all that gold when I dropped that. What was it?
Yeah, when she robbed my bet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, very good. Very good.
And
I also
the
have
gold
10
teeth.
I have 10 gold teeth.
Oh yeah.
And
You only promised them 20, so you should be like, well, I'm keeping.
Pink diamond seems really
Definitely.
nice.
You're all on board the ship, seeing this unfold.
I have a gold
Yeah.
necklace too. You know, I'm not offering all that stuff.
You know, this
Yeah.
cloth guy, he seems like a good
I
dude.
pick up the pink diamond and
No, you don't.
here, see, you should keep this one.
Yeah, I'm keeping. I'll keep it.
I want to step in
Please.
and just talk to what's his favorite whatever.
Fabric?
Fabric. Be like, so
Fabio.
you want us to essentially save the world,
Yeah.
but you want us to pay you to do it. So if we decided not to pay you, you would just let the world evolve into chaos?
Cloth believes in an old school system of, quid pro quo.
He is a dragon.
The airship is a ancient design and an interesting find for him. He thought it only fair to give it to you permanently with some form of payment, which I agreed upon with your elf here back at the tower when we first met.
Seems like a pretty good deal for an airship.
Saving all the people
Yeah.
of the world is not enough of a
20,000, right? What else are we gonna buy with
The
20,000
paladin
gold?
would like to walk.
Take it or leave it, Paladin. And he kind of gestures towards the still crumbling
The rest of us
entrance.
are
Well, 20 even, right?
Yeah. No, I didn't offer all this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you got more than that, so.
Yeah. No, I'll
yeah.
keep the pink
Um,
diamond. And
Navan is opening another bag of holding, the person you got the original one from, and is just kind of like gesturing
That's really
for you to start filling it.
What do you think I
Yeah,
should
so-
keep?
But I mean, then you're gonna have to
Squawking
do
at the
shit
back
like
of the
breaking
ship,
archery.
Yeah,
you
that's
now
true.
see several
Keep the
giant
silver archery
vultures.
and the pink diamond.
Can I be like, how much for the spider staff?
You still have that?
That's never gonna get used in this group.
I mean, you just get rid of the big tick. I mean, what are we gonna do with it anyway?
Yeah, that's true. True. Okay, so,
So
I'll
pretty,
keep.
Because I mean, if we do want to like sell the rest of this shit
Yeah.
to liquidate amongst ourselves, we're not
Right.
going to be able to do that.
Great.
We're not going to be able to find someone that's going to pay us $5
No,
grand for a diamond.
that's
No,
smart. Okay,
most
so
merchants would
I
pay
think
you like 25%.
I should probably keep the gold pieces so I have
Yeah.
gold.
So
And,
you've got some liquid assets.
Yeah. And I don't feel like I should pick up this bracer.
Well, I was going to say, the jewelry box, the pink diamond is
Do you have to attune to the bracers?
The gold mask will give you 15. 2
Okay.
black sapphires will give us 17. 2 hairpins is 19. So it's
They
just-
do require attunement, sorry.
Yeah, so if we just do the really big ones, yeah. The aquamarine, the black sapphires, the gold mask, the hairpins, the jewelry box, and the pink diamond is 20. We just do that. And that still leaves us the rose cord, the silver necklace, the pearl, the jet.
I don't think it's as valuable.
I mean, we're not so much worried about value as much as stuff that we can use to
Yeah.
help us get more stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there are lots of good ones. Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
So let me just pull something up here.
Puts on our glasses and brings it up.
So, which
Let's write
one?
down what I
Which ones
expect.
are you? Were you proposing? You
The big ticket
The,
Yes.
the 2 aquamarines for 1,000. The 2 black sapphires brings us up to 3,000.
yeah.
The gold mask brings us to 8. The hairpins brings us to 10.
Mm-hmm.
The jewelry box brings us to 15. The pink diamond brings us to 20.
Okay.
Let me see what I have left. So I can write it down. Wait, can you cross out the other ones?
What were the other ones?
The black
You
sapphire.
only crossed out one.
Oh, did
gold
not
mask.
update?
No. Oh,
Oh, there we
it
go.
goes.
That's 20 even.
Okay, so I still have.
Sure.
Let's see.
Uh-huh.
Gems. I think they're like yellow.
Wait, we don't need their ship. We have a jet.
The jet's only worth 500.
Oh,
Be there in no time.
what does that mean?
We can't use
It's a
someone
type
else.
of gem, I think.
Oh,
We have a jet.
oh
Fabric's funneling the spider stuff. Says, at least 3,000 gold.
Oh. Get rid of that.
Yeah, shush. I don't suppose you guys would buy this off me.
I mean, we could sell that and then keep the aquamarine, and
One of my
black sapphires.
compatriots here will be flying the vulture and the bag back to Cloth. Do not attempt to follow or track him.
I don't want.
Very
Would you wanna
protective
do that?
of
'Cause
the
then
Vale's
we could
location.
We could keep the aquamarine and black sapphire and give them the staff. We got no use for the staff. And those we can actually trade for useful.
Yeah, it's fine with me. Let's keep the aquamarine and the black sapphire, and you take the staff instead.
Actually, can I
As you begin to propose this, you see that Favric's like unfurling like out of this ornate scroll case a deed of ownership that had pre-filled out on it
Yeah.
the name Sithla Urbella, owner and proprietor of Dragon Cult Airship.
So, then you know what?
she'll need someone to
yeah, I need someone to
Buy it.
buy it. I had
I'm
someone
okay
in mind.
contributing this towards the thing.
Would you like to
I mean, if
work
it,
for
that
me?
thing's worth that much, I haven't had a chance to identify it yet, but can I identify a write-off staff and see if that's...
You certainly could when you have some time.
I mean, do we have to do this exchange now, or can we have time to confer over?
They say looking at the way down the path here, they say if it's fine by you, we will complete this transaction in the air.
Yeah.
And they
We
kind
gotta
of before the last of you gets on the ship, they ask if you would go pry, and they're looking at like two of the strong ones pry the
I'll do
harpoon
it.
out from the ice, and you kind of have to like hammer and chisel. Shoots back. You can see them like wince it using like it's like a winch.
Yeah.
Retract it. Can I grab it in the no way that will be able to.
It would, you could kind of like ride it up
Yeah.
to the nose of the ship.
I'm gonna try riding it up then.
Yeah, you got some pirating skills.
Was that Treasure Island or something?
You do that.
Yeah.
And then there is a massive surge of what you immediately sense is some sort of magic. The furnace just erupts with flames, and the balloon begins to, and the propellers begin to spin. This thing is definitely coursing with some kind of magic, and
I
you
think
begin
that-
to lift up over the world.
I feel like we need one of the,
I need to make a new hot air balloon airship icon.
So,
Oh, is that the shape of it? That's
Yeah.
so how many guys are already on there?
So there are 8 cultists on the boat. Ship. Sorry. Navan and this appraiser are kind of taking these things from you, putting them into a bag of holding. Now that you're all on the boat, ship.
Well, they're not taking
At the aft side, where there is another sort of small turret, you see 2 large vultures, just like the ones that you saw upon the Tower of Zephyros. And you can see that they're preparing them to depart with this bag of goods.
Well, we're not heading the stuff over yet, because I want to...
No, you're not. They're preparing like the transactions here. You're in the air and you're slowly just floating above the mountains in the spine of the world. You take some time to identify.
We'll just start with write-off staff. Yeah, just
I kept those things for us, right?
You knew this was coming, you know. Have an airship.
You help gives that.
We have an airship now. That's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. That's pretty awesome.
I mean,
Shouldn't we find out
I
that
mean,
crown
I
you
have
found was
one,
worth
but
a
Yeah,
you
free
guys
fun.
are on it.
You want to? That means you get to name it too. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
does
name.
it have it?
It's your ship now.
It feels like it's named
Surprisingly, Radolph's staff is just a gnarled wooden staff.
Oh,
The magic was in him the whole time.
Oh man.
It goes falling down and you hear a clunk. Oh!
Hey.
It hits a blue dragon.
Anyone have a suggestion for a name?
Door Smasher.
No.
Yeah. That's name.
Maybe name it after your cat that has disappeared.
Onyx.
Maybe.
I'll do a big red balloon with
Something
blood.
about light or the sea or.
Crimson Dew.
I mean, you don't have to come up with a name right this second.
No, alright.
Crimson
We'll
Lightning.
workshop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So, what else are you doing? These cultists, Favrik like kind of looks at you and says, "At the behest of our great Lord Cloth, we will reluctantly serve you in the operation of this ship. But once more," and like he kind of like points at the deed, the title. There is a clause in there.
What?
That states that, and you can tell that this guy hasn't even read it because he's kind of like just putting it in front of the few that are standing around. It is written, presumably by Cloth, that he cares absolutely. He just gives zero fucks about what happens to the ship or the crew that he sent to you, as long as his rewards are returned. He'll contact you via Sending Stone, which Favrik, has the other one on there. In so many words.
Okay. Well, how difficult is it to operate this ship?
I don't know. You probably want to watch and see them operate it for a little bit first.
Titus was paying attention
No.
while they lit this up.
Oh, is he a
And
good
the dress
dragon?
Would
that
my vehicle handling skills work at all on the ship?
Absolutely.
yeah. Would you
sounds
like to
lovely.
work?
I think we already do.
And he wants us to go like that. That seems suspicious,
Alright,
doesn't it?
sounds good.
Now, I would
well,
kind
I'll-
of say that all this shit she found very largely with our help and risk. So just
So
because you weren't letting
there's
us
some
know about
sideways-faced quizzical glances.
No.
Yeah.
Alright.
Right.
Mhm.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
I asked Fabric, so what do you just want to ride with us on this ship?
No, they work for us now.
I don't wish to go anywhere that you are going, but per our contractual agreement to the Great Red One, we will support you in the operation of this vessel and follow your orders.
Basically, they come with the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the help staff.
Why don't you just show me how to use this thing?
Don't show them anything.
Why would he listen?
He is the only sailor in the group.
Yeah.
And
We're gonna go again.
so sorry. Have you completed your transaction?
Yeah, so
I'm
Bag of
signing.
holding is. Yeah, you're signing. Okay.
Yeah,
So
so
we're
instead
doing-
of the
There's 2 copies of the deed. They put one in the bag of holding with the rest of the
Yeah,
loot.
so instead of those 2 top items, we're giving them 3,000 gold spire stacks.
Oh.
yeah, that's better stuff.
So you're keeping the aquamarine and the black sapphire?
yeah.
There's 2 black sapphires, or 2 of each.
Yeah.
How much are those?
Oh, those things.
One was worth
Okay.
one of them were 500 each, and the black sapphires were 1,000 each.
Oh, that's good.
Aquamarine.
That's 3,000
and-
gold.
Black sapphire.
What was it?
Yeah. And the crown you have is worth at least that. Like the crown was worth.
So you still
3,000
have
and then had a ship.
2 aquamarine and 2 black sapphire.
Yeah.
Am I still wearing it?
No, it's a
Black sapphire.
Oh, that's my
Yep.
friend.
She doesn't.
You
I
do.
would.
Because he basically exchanged the staff for them. They took the loot and then he swapped that in.
Yeah.
Did like a sort of mini barter
Yeah.
session. Had no impact on the value that you gave them, specifically. Sure. And you are floating away, and Favrik kind of like, almost like trying to act like the captain, hands behind the back, with his foot still pressed against, the bow. Says, Look back and says, "So where shall we go?" And while this is happening, they're basically saddling up the two giant vultures,
Someplace
securing all of the goods, and two of them are heading back to Cloth.
Okay, so what are our 100 quests we have to do?
Does this
the
thing
next-
have any
next
weapons?
most important?
It does. Are you trying to take that tour that Flint's
Yeah.
holding you back
Alright,
from?
let's see the
Let's do the tour.
Okay, hold on.
I mean, should we give them a direction first?
Yeah, someplace warm.
I was thinking fire shoot.
Where?
Fire shoot?
Fire shear? That sounds warm.
What's that?
Well, that's the place where Zephyros has the guy that we're supposed to take our griffins to.
Oh,
Because you and I still all have our griffins.
No, forget that, because my griffin's back in Golden Fields.
Well, yeah, yours is already being taken care of. The three of us. If we're gonna be doing all this crazy shit all over the world, we need to get rid of these big griffins.
Oh, we each get our own room.
Oh, look at that.
that's cool. Alright,
Wow.
I think 6 is a storeroom.
Oh, it's got a crow's nest.
That's where we're gonna put
Yeah, just fix the scale
main
on
guys,
there.
the dragon soldiers. Oh, Titus, you can man the harpoon.
But yeah,
Down for that.
it's got that guy's there. Plus, it's a coastal city, which means there's gonna be trade, which means we can sell off all this other shit we have. It's to hang on to. There'll probably be some shops that can buy some stuff.
Yeah,
Is it
so like,
close to one of the places we need to go?
It's near Bridgehaven.
Which is?
That's where the frost giant bullshit is.
But I think
Which
we should
is
be.
not
I think we
what-
should be trying to kill the fire giants now.
We have to stay closer.
Right,
Kill
because
this cloud giant
We
guy.
want to go like kind of like in order of difficulty.
Level up.
Work our way up, not like be like, hey, we're gonna.
I mean, we don't have to go. I mean, it's not that much difference in distance from there to the other place. I'm just saying we need to get somewhere where we can stop. We got the bag of holding almost full. We gotta offload some shit.
Yeah, let's offload and get here.
Offload some shit. Get some
Sounds
planes.
good.
Hey,
Unwind from
is that
this.
end game or is that
Speaking of
out
which-
game? What's going on?
What's the guy's name? Fabio.
Fabric.
Fabric.
Yeah, I like it.
Is there any beer or ale or alcohol or liquor or anything on this ship at the moment?
Yeah, is that part of it?
The ship is supplied with 30 days worth of provisions. You're talking about like dried fruits and meats, some kegs of water,
Anything
ale.
else? Okay.
Ale, okay. Can we tap one of those?
Yes.
No, it sucks.
Hooray!
Yeah, one second, just
So-
setting up
To
the.
drink while we're doing this tour.
Oh, tricky.
So instead of westward heading towards Fire Shear and just taking the tour of drinking some ale.
Yeah,
drinking some
finally we
ale.
get a break.
And when we do have some time, I also have a shitload of other stuff that we can
Is there a map of the world on the OneNote somewhere?
I have a website.
Yeah, the website one's good.
Let's go to hazard3d.com/scn. Just
What?
search for a Sword Coast map.
Yeah, that's weird. Slash what now?
SCN.
Slash F.
SCN. So Sword Coast map. SCN. I think there's a link to it.
Yeah, I did that wrong.
Yeah.
You should encourage all of these dragon cultists to spar with you. You know, to get some practice in. Just for kicks.
What are you gonna do?
Titus is in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Alright, where are we going?
So we are at the mountains.
So where are we?
Just
You
west,
are-
west of the spine of the
The very helpful cultists have described you as being just north of the Lurkwood, between Mirabar and the Mithril Halls.
Ooh, Mithril Hall.
So we're trying to get to Fire Shear over here.
Check in on your right.
So that is 373 miles away.
Oh, they're in Buffalo.
Sounds like a lovely trip.
I made a little.
How fast does the ship travel?
Yeah.
Distances.
Alright, that's a good call. It's very like no, they're pretty close.
How do you like your
No, it's alright.
Surface.
I think so that we should do base.
Yeah, it's not ultra fast. For the sake of, let's see, you're asking one of the crewmen.
Yeah.
So,
Fabio.
Longer.
let's see. Just trying to find a few landmarks here.
You could make a quick pit stop in like Midwell Hall and hospital stuff up there.
What's the middle?
Have you messed with this yet, Dave?
No, not the new, not since you updated it.
It's actually accurate. The fire shear is 376 miles.
That's fancy.
Does middle or does Forgotten Realms operate on the metric system or is it
Of course not.
the King's
It's all
Imperial?
Imperial.
Leagues and whatever.
Nautical
So, the vessel's speed caps out at 8 miles per hour,
Oh, yeah.
not accounting for strong headwinds or tailwinds.
Jeez. So okay, that's so
Yeah.
Okay. So it's too far then.
that's gonna be like 10 days.
No, 8 miles an hour, that's
You can
80 miles
fly
a 10, so that's,
160 in
160
20 hours.
There you go.
I mean, that's assuming this thing will fly 24/7. I don't know. It's the
It's like
stop.
2.5 days roughly to travel 300 some odd miles.
Do you want to stop somewhere else?
Say it's faster.
Yeah, but like looking at the map, we'll probably hit like Mithril Hall before
Yeah.
anything.
But I mean, like I said, we need to offload these griffins and all this shit before we do anything else. If we're gonna go to Mitchell Hall, then we're gonna be right around Ecuador.
2.5 days.
2.5 days?
Fabric, is there anything else I should include with this delivery to Cloth? And he's kind of gesturing to two of the cultists who were coming up from the back there. Just punch in on this guy for a little bit, and then we'll get to the tour. So the N and the O, if you will. He's gesturing to him and says, please, Nizroth, Oriscus, and he's gesturing as it's a man and a woman, both human. Everyone here is in like the black leather garb of dragon cultists. Only Favret wears like the regaled mask. Says, are you two ready? The vultures are all set and they're nodding. He's looking back at you and it's just one last call.
Does Clark know about the big fuck old blue dragon that's hanging around this territory right now?
He's
Just
aired
curious.
some concerns about the doom of the desert being this close to his territory and is looking into it as we speak.
Do you or him have any further information on it?
Your task is to
decide to use
focus on the giants for now. Cloth will see about this blue dragon.
We feel like they're linked.
What's that?
I kinda doubt it.
You want to make a... You trying to suss out whether he's lying? Is that what you're saying?
Sure, yeah.
Sure. Do things.
Yeah. What is that? Just insight?
Yeah.
12 plus 1, 13.
You feel like he's telling the truth?
Alright.
What does this mean, doom of the desert?
The doom of the desert, that's, well, to be honest, I don't really know. Cloth sometimes refers to her as that. It's some sort of title, I presume.
Stick to the desert, because we're about as far from the desert.
She sound like he almost kind of goes dreamy. She does sound rather majestic, but Cloth is the most ancient red known. in the Sword Coast regions.
She's a bit of a dick.
We've got ourselves an appropriate master. One.
Ancient Red actually sounds like a name for a really good ale. Speaking of which, let's
Or
crack
sounds
the
like a
ale and
name
get
for
on
a
this
good
tour.
ship. Ancient Red.
Tell Cloth thank you and send your envoys on their way.
Canonically in Elvish.
Red Dawn.
So to give you some idea of travel, the is this days? Travel distance in miles. It should be about 385 miles to the grandfather tree, which you were sort of underneath before coming here.
The grandfather.
Oh, they're in the middle of the forest, yeah.
Yeah, the middle of the high forest, essentially. I don't know if that checks out with your map or
I'm
not.
trying this. Right. So, if I just go to Star Mounts, it's 340 miles.
Yep, that's pretty close. So, yeah. So your thing sounds pretty accurate.
If I go to the destroyed treetop village, and I'm still guesstimating where we're at.
Yep.
As possible, it goes to 368.
Yep. So it sounds like your map's good. Yeah. So it's about 385 miles back to where you came from before using the conch.
380 for fire shot.
Yeah. So 5 by 8, whatever that is.
2.5 days, you said?
But with the crew operating the ship, you all could rest as you will. And speaking of the ship, why don't we take that tour?
Yeah, let's go.
Ale first?
Ale during.
Sure,
Ale
get some
tour.
ale.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like
Ale tour.
yeah,
This-
a brewery
this
tour.
okay?
You get
Can
to.
I just go up to you and
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
you can just
Just
operate
like-
it with your thumb.
So you can see the outer edge of the balloon, which is, the side profile image isn't super curvy there. Like this red on the map is, if you look up, the outer edge of the balloon. Let me just pull up a few notes. There.
Pour one out for our guy.
Yeah.
It's like it's about 160 feet long.
Pour it over the side of the ship.
Here.
So, I'm gonna fumble my way through this, but they're kind of like they're fumbling their way through their guided tour.
We expected them.
There's the enormous balloon above that he's gesturing to. It's just kind of casting a shadow down on you. It's made from dragon hide that has been dyed bright red in honor of the great cloth. Atop the balloon is a crow's nest that is reached by crawling up the ropes that tether and net around the outside of the balloon. So it's basically like rigging that's just taut around the circumference of the balloon.
I mean, you want to take a version like Roseanne?
Maybe.
It doesn't look like a incredibly treacherous climb, essentially because there's so much like just crisscross netting. Like even if you did fail, like an athletics or acrobatics check, you just wouldn't make progress unless you rolled a 1.
Oh my god.
So if it's anyone else, do it when I'm around and I can catch you on that.
You can kind of see in that profile view that the balloon is roped to a gondola that's been fitted with steel runners for basically land surface landings versus sea landings. You've already gotten a rough idea of the speed, and that speed actually holds up if you are literally skiing along ice or snow as well on the ground. They're kind of describing their journey here, and they mentioned that, when going against a very strong headwind, the speed kind of drops to a maximum of just 4 miles per hour. But if you're able to catch a good tailwind, you can go as high as 12. You can kind of change altitudes to seek out more favorable air currents when moving in particular directions. You do see a propeller on the aft side of the gondola that helps thrust the ship forward and can also be pivoted.
Well, if if we still had a crew that was cold water?
The hull of the gondola is watertight and buoyant in water, meaning it can double as a sea vessel. And the propeller can actually help push it through water as well. The cargo holds can cap out at 1 ton of cargo, and requires at least a crew of 2 or more to operate the propeller, and 1 to operate the furnace. So 1 for the propeller, 1 for the furnace, which combined keep the balloon inflated properly, and the propeller helps steer, whether you're going forwards or up and down.
We'll learn to steer so much that we
If the speed can't be controlled, the balloon will wildly go in random directions at the beck and whim of the winds that are blowing, until control can be regained, or until it collides with something. The gondola and the balloon are separate entities, and could, if misfortune should fall upon you, be separated. And so, there is the potential that you would have to repair or reconnect them in the worst of cases. Both have immunity to most damage types, but not physical. Blah blah blah. If we ever get there, we'll get into repair. This is way too. I'll leave that. And so, actually, they're kind of like showing you all of these things. There's definitely a strong sense of magic with the propeller and the furnace. And there are other things down below, like the crew quarters in the storeroom, the harpoon gun, and the ballista. If there are anything you'd like more information on, now's the time, and they'd be happy to.
Guns.
Yeah. Okay. Titus is eyeing all of the guns. They start with the harpoon gun at the front of the ship. It's a spring-loaded harpoon gun, fashioned from burnished bronze with iron fittings, bolted to the forward upper deck. It's got a 90-degree arc of fire, side to side as well as up and down. Comes with a winch, as you've seen, with about 500 feet coiled rope, which appears to be very strong, and 10 steel-tipped harpoons, meaning you've got some backups should you have to cut one loose. Although it fires harpoons instead of bolts, it's still considered a ballista-type weapon, which is kind of under the siege equipment category.
tackle flying blue dragons.
Yeah. It's got a range, a natural range of about 120 feet, but could shoot as far as up to about 480 feet, thus the 500-foot coil of rope. And it does 3d10 piercing damage on a hit. Impaling a target would actually allow you to kind of reel it in, like big fish hunting. Now, the small, much smaller ballista at the aft side, the back side of the upper deck, also has a 90-degree arc of fire, up, down, side to side, and beside it rests a crate that holds a dozen extra bolts.
Those ones don't have the rope; they're just straight bolts.
Yeah, straight, just pew, pew.
Same damage, or
I don't believe so. Let's see.
Nothing for
that's the one
size.
at number 3. Right?
Yeah, number 3 is the ballista, the smaller ballista. That is the same damage,
Oh, okay.
same range,
That's probably the rope slows the
just
big one down.
less. Yeah.
Or seems us up.
Nothing for the sides.
Nothing from the sides.
Well, a few of us got some.
Anyone care to take the lower tour or examine the furnace of the propeller?
I did kind of want to know which, like, are like those 4 rooms there? Is that
Yeah.
just for us, or does the crew have their own quarters? Or
Uh,
are we splitting those?
Those are shared, and so I mean, don't take them verbatim. Like there are kind of like bunked hammocks.
Yeah.
So 2, 4, 6, 8, right there. There are a couple cots in the storeroom where you could assume some of the help will be sleeping. Let's just go ahead and say there's like a bunch of bunk beds in the storeroom for them. Yeah. Boom.
Is there 5 of us or 6 of us? I'm curious how we're doing.
Yeah, I don't know. Right now, you only see 5 of you.
Uh,
Yeah. Remember when you threw the stick overboard and it bumped on someone?
It was him.
Two of us left the pair. Sita doesn't want a room, but she just trances out on the bed.
Well, the crew's quarters, they do have doors that can be bolted shut from the inside, and they are just wooden doors, though. Each cabin contains 2 hammocks, like I said, like bunked, basically. Technically, you could modify the arrangements of the rooms. According to the deed, the ship is yours at this point, and Cloth gives 0 fucks about what you do with it or its crew. And there are supplied in each room a writing desk, a chair, a footlocker, and a porthole window. The windows are latched shut from the inside, and they're set inside a frame wide enough for a medium creature to squeeze through. The footlockers in the room are partitioned and divided in half, with room on each side for a person's clothing and personal effects. Atop each desk are a sturdy lamp, a dragon chest set, and playing cards. And the lamps appear to have some sort of like magical, like you touch it and like almost like a firefly or some sort of creature just sort of like begins to glow.
Kind of a long shot here from whose writing desk have any ink that's functional for arcane purposes.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that's like the big holdup of a bunch of machines. That's expensive as fuck.
Cloth likes arcane shit.
Oh,
there
that's
you
like,
go.
well, I'm gonna spend these 2 days transcribing some shit.
Okay.
There's no captain's quarters.
Um,
sort of thing?
No.
I don't think we have a captain.
Well, Sita would probably be that.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Yeah. Boop. I can just sleep in the holding area, or the, because I just go to my shell and,
Put in the nest.
I should all sleep in the crow's nest.
Okay, we're looking around downstairs. I wanna.
Yeah, they're still sort of walking you around the ship.
I want to see what there is.
Okay.
Learn about all that stuff. I mean, these guys can't go for 2 days straight. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have to help out.
They round out the crew quarters tour with a quick look at the storeroom, packed to the ceiling with crates of rations, barrels of fresh water, casks of dwarven ale. There's even some fine elven wine that they've seemed to supplied for you. Enough food to feed 10 people for 100 days, they say, actually, correcting themselves previously. And there are nets secured to iron-ringed bolts, iron rings that are bolted into the wall that prevent the containers from moving around in the worst of windstorms. A lot of these goods and crates have markings that, for the sharper of you, quickly appear to be looted from various caravans and other expeditions around the Sword Coast, and maybe not so on the up and up. But who knows? Maybe he procured them through bartering. Yeah. There's lots of marks, like there's like the Lion Shield Coster, there's Antarum symbols, there's all kinds.
Fabric, how did you secure it? All this amazing.
Don't ask. Don't ask.
Cloth provided all of the goods to us when we came upon him in the Vale. He almost vaporized us with the numerous wands he had attached to the interior of his wings, but paused for a moment and then deemed us to be worthy of this task that he's put forth for us here now. His power is majestic. He almost seems like euphoric. Anyway, yes, Sithla, the 2 things that power this vessel hopefully won't put any of you off, but the magic of this ship would be impossible without them. Cloth has basically imprisoned 2 elementals in this ship. The propeller, and he's kind of taking your words, it's in the bottom of the ship where you see this number 4. There is basically a wooden door, and it comes down. It's actually down beneath the furnace. Hold on, let me make sure I get this right. So he's like down below. He opens up this door where you can see. It's basically a steel hatch bolted shut. with 2 horizontal sliding iron levers. One is labeled thrust. The other, hold on, I'm butchering all of this. Let me read this real quick while he takes you around the tour. Just sip on my elvish wine.
I want to drink a little sour with me.
Yeah, what did you bring over there?
Everything. A lot of it was,
You like the
I went a little
triple-
crazy when I
the
went to the liquor store.
Oh,
what?
which one?
triple one.
Oh, the triple.
Oh, the
I
Le
hope
Fin de
they-
Monde.
Hit me.
You-
If you would.
I wouldn't mind a little Le Fin.
I'll have a small glass of anything. Any of this next time.
Oh, you get the pop it too. That's a fun one.
Have you guys not had Fin de Monde before?
I think
This was one of my faves, man.
Uh,
Like in,
that's a Quebec beer. All their ones seem to be strong though. Endemol, Modit.
who wants Fin?
I do.
Jay does.
He does.
Jay wants
You did?
Well, if you're not pumping another one, I'll have some of that. But
Yeah, good. Later for another one, maybe. Had did you have a good time last night?
it's all again.
Oh, that's fine.
So,
So just,
She seemed awesome.
yeah.
just Ryan Fitty
Oh, you guys.
What's going on?
Yeah, it was fun.
So she was really
Oh,
confused by the musical selection in South Korea.
Oh my
I
god.
think we all were.
everyone
I think
was,
we
yeah.
all were.
Yeah.
That was a
The
bizarre
music.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I never looked at
So
it.
she was hoping for some K-pop. And
Yeah.
Celine Dion.
Well, pandering to that Canadian crowd.
This is how they're gonna get the votes. We're gonna win. We need Celine. Oh. Is there any chance we can be attacked in this airship?
Yep.
I just wanna like kill
Yeah,
something.
as you recall, even in Zephyros' tower, there were random
Things that
creatures coming through. Yeah. You are a visible target with your balloon.
Is there any kind of like, I don't know, secret path?
I mean, this is the safest way.
I mean, this is as safe as it goes with giants rampaging through the Sword Coast. That being said, there's plenty of aerial creatures
Make sure
or
I know how to use it.
flying mounts.
What was that creature you would always run into in Final Fantasy VI in the
Two
sky?
gates.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Doom gaze? When you're flying your airship, every once in a while you randomly just get attacked by that thing.
Yeah. There's a way of like insta killing him though.
Really?
Yeah, you have to cast Vanish on him, and then I think either Doom or X-Zone.
Oh
But if
yeah, that was actually an
If you did
exploit.
X-Zone, you wouldn't get the magic thingy from when you drop.
Oh, well, that's the whole reason you want to kill him anyway, right?
Yeah. So what if you catch like Death or Doom or whatever, you would die, and then you
Ryan?
Thank you very much.
basically two-shot him.
Thank you.
Vanish. Doom.
La fin du monde.
Oh, wait,
If you don't scrap it to French, it means the end of the world.
You want to try out the metal sour?
which one?
The sour one?
Whatever's cold and beveragey.
Can I have you put that just near the coffee pot or something?
I
Thanks,
got a
man.
honey one in there. Delicious. Like, so they couldn't find the honey one they used.
Oh.
So that was like the closest thing I could see.
Yeah. Dino sour. Oh yeah.
Smells
Nice.
good.
But it's all the good things.
Goes with my socks.
This is their palate.
No.
It wasn't me.
Sit back left.
Just waiting for everyone to return.
Thank you.
two elementals.
Yeah, they can't be happy about that.
So would I know if the elementals are using are they like sentient, or is it sentient like having two forces?
Do you want to know if they're sentient?
It would affect how I feel about it.
Well,
Yeah, so
let's circle back to that in a
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Go ask us.
So, all right, to unbutcher the description. So down below, where you see like this at the base of the steps, essentially, at the foot of the stairs, is kind of like a big steel hatch that's bolted shut from the outside with two horizontal sliding iron levers adjacent to the wall. It's almost like a big wall panel, if you will. One lever, labeled in common, says thrust. The other, also labeled in common, says direction. So basically there's two levers down here. And next to them, behind the hatch, is a steel-walled compartment that appears to contain the air elemental. The air elemental powers the propeller itself. So moving the thrust lever to the left opens valves that allow wind from the elemental to spin the propeller. Moving the lever to the right closes the valves and the propeller stops turning.
So the air elemental powers the
Propeller.
and the
Yep.
fire elemental powers the lift.
Yeah. So moving the direction, basically moving the direction lever left or right causes the propeller to pivot in that direction. So this is like kind of like just swiveling the propeller in this direction itself. When the direction lever is centered, the propeller moves the vessel straight ahead. Opening the hatch would free the elemental, whereupon, and you can kind of see it kind of looking out through like a small opening in the, a seal, like kind of just like a window. You can see like the face of this, like just like occasionally it's just swirling wind, but occasionally you see like a facial features, or at least you kind of anthropomorphize the thing and see these sort of facial features when you look through the window. Now this is you having to open the hatch to actually see what's going on.
What is this? This is like.
One of those things trying to kill us back.
An elemental is
Yeah.
just like one of nature's elements in the form of some sort of like prehistoric magical creature, if you will. So it's like a pure essence of air.
We killed one.
Yeah, we fought them the other time.
They're not nice, so we don't want to let it out. But what about?
If San was to
Comprehend language, right?
If it speaks, yeah.
if San was to describe elementals by the book, you'd say an air elemental is a funneling cloud of whirling air with a vague semblance of a face at times. They tend to race across the ground like a tornado, picking up dust and debris as it goes. They can also fly and attack through space. It can turn into a screaming cyclone. But elementals themselves are essentially incarnations of the elements that make up the universe: air, earth, fire, water. Though little more than animated energy on their own planes of existence, they can be called on by spellcasters and powerful beings to take shape and perform tasks.
So it's not like this thing had like a whole city and a society and did artwork or anything. It's kind of just like a little.
As far as you know, the powerful beings part, they can be bound and shaped to perform these tasks. So powerful magic can bind an elemental spirit into this plane, the material plane, and basically force them into a specific use or function. The strength and magic of the elemental as it takes its form on the material plane is greatly dependent upon the thing that summoned it here.
I guess it'd be kind of hypocritical for me to criticize this, considering I did summon an Azure to kick the ass out of a couple of monsters for me 3 days ago.
That's what we do.
So, that's the propeller. They take you back up to the main deck where you go near the very, very warm furnace. It's in the middle of the upper deck. It's basically a 10-foot tall cylindrical bronze furnace with a fire elemental magically trapped inside of it.
Oh, the other one, the lower decker, and this one, the upper decker.
Yeah.
That was 7 on that one.
So, this also has a narrow hatch in the front of the furnace with a small grill through which you can at times see the raging inferno that is this fire elemental. Heat pours out through the grill, and in the frozen north, and Favre kind of like comes and says, "We stand near the furnace to stay warm in these parts of the world." So essentially, it does act both as a way to keep the balloon afloat, and it's an immense source of warmth through. Basically, heats the bottom of the ship because this thing goes down into it. And those of you up on the deck as well. You can imagine if you were in the crow's nest, since the balloon is just a giant heat pillow of dragon hide, it would also maintain some of that warmth. So.
The crow's nest is toasty.
There is an iron wheel on the starboard side of the furnace, which basically opens and closes a bronze valve at the top of the cylinder, which has the effect of increasing or reducing the size of the fire spilling out of the furnace. The more heat that is allowed to fill the balloon, the higher the ship can rise. So it's basically like, again, the propeller is going to be how you steer. The steering wheel next to the furnace is like how much you're inflating the balloon for your lift or lack thereof. Opening the hatch of the valve, according to Favrik, would not actually release the fire elemental, but should the furnace ever be destroyed, it would release the magic that is binding the fire elemental.
It's not good. Especially not while we're in the air.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Ships don't do well with the fire elementals on balloons.
this collides
Well,
with
we don't do
something.
well with a ship that doesn't have its source of lift.
True.
Yeah.
And it would also be on
I mean, if
fire.
something happened when we're on the ground, then yeah, it would suck and lose our boat, but we would not be falling toward the ground at this reaching pace. I'm the only one who's going to be flying.
I can land softly.
I think I could make. If that ever did happen, I think I could save 3.
Cloth assures me that should anything ever happen to the elemental or the balloon, the ship should descend at a rate of about 10 feet per round, which...
Okay, so that's not horrible. As long as the balloon stays intact.
What are these rounds you speak of?
10 feet per 6 seconds.
Around 6 seconds.
Math's not my strong suit. That gives you a little...
One of those crazy Faerun units.
Yeah, we've got a pretty sweet setup here.
So,
I like it.
you mentioned Fireshear. Is that a place that you would like to travel to? Where shall we take you? And at this point, the two cultists with the loot and the signed contract have flown off on their vultures somewhere off into the spine. Why don't you collect your thoughts for a moment while Favrik hits the aft side of the ship to take a leak off into the world below.
Boot neck?
There's no toilet in this ship.
That is kind of true.
There's probably like some buckets or
There's just a hole cut somewhere.
a bag of holding.
Oh no.
Toilet holding.
So much.
So we want to go to Fire Shoot to sell
Like the
stuff.
best.
Sell stuff.
Holds 1 ton of poop.
Offload our griffins. So they're safe.
And then where do we want to go? We can save Felgalos. We can go kill this
I mean, it
dude's
seems
dad.
like Felgalos is the most urgent,
Huh?
since he's actually like in trouble. I mean, I don't know. Everywhere we go, there's people who are in
What happened
trouble.
Right,
to
everyone's
Felgalos? What's wrong with him again?
He got captured by the Countess that he was trying to
Problem,
talk
Alright.
problem with Felgalos, though, is if we save him and Titus deems him his BFF, he's gonna die.
True.
to. Do not make friends with anyone else.
You should make friends with our enemies.
Everyone.
Like all the people that we're trying to kill, just be friendly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Should have
Make
been like,
Imrith your best friend.
Imrith, you're my BFF! And then,
And then
boom.
just, had a heart attack or something.
On the spot. We also have to get these other conch shells.
Well,
We're
I
going to
think what's her name that has Felgos would have a conch shell.
Yeah.
Possibly.
All the
Maybe not.
all the giant leaders
Does
had one.
Does Sansuri have a conch shell, or would that just be Blugofkus? Or would both of them? I don't know.
You are under the impression. Let's spitball a little bit here. You guys have time. You're floating in the comfort of airspace.
It's
get it.
It's safe to assume that each giant leader would have a conch.
But is it like one per race? Because Sansui
Yes.
is a cloud giant. And
Yes,
Goth
and as
is-
far as you know from Zephyros, Sansuri was being reached out to as like the current leader of cloud giants. So
So King Blackophus was the king, but didn't have the codes. Okay.
I think it's always. She's staring at the room.
That seems to make sense. Then. You can say Belladose, get a coach.
You know where he is?
He's
So
actually real close to where we're starting right now.
out of character, distant narrator kind of perspective, you've got a lot of potential paths in front of you. You've got a airship and crew at your disposal. You've got a signed, sealed, and soon to be delivered contract with an ancient red dragon. You've promised the dead ghost of a recently slain cloud giant that you would avenge him. You have your original Council of Zephyros pact, which beneficial to all of you and everyone on the Sword Coast is to try to stop the soon-to-be uninhabitable Sword Coast region being just torn asunder by rampaging giants of all factions and varieties.
Can we pull up a map so we can see where
Yeah.
all these things are that we can go to?
Should we try and save Felgalos first, and then see
Okay.
if he'll like
I'm trying to
Hold on,
bring-
let's
back us up?
pause on the planning until Sithla returns from the bag of holding bathroom.
The dog
the
edition.
For
bathroom.
the dog. 1 ton.
Quest.
1 ton of people matter.
Welcome to open world mode.
Oh, yeah. It's like a whole
We
new
have
world
so many
now.
quests. I'm just thinking about like I'm playing The
Let's do
Witcher,
none of them and
and
fly
I
out
see all the
somewhere.
things that can be done. God.
Now,
I'm kind of with that too. I mean, like, the friggin' dragon wants to kill all the giants. The giants want to kill all of each other. And then when we went to go to the god of the giants, the one who created, the one who's supposed to be protecting them, and offered him our help, he put us through a bunch of dig-ass puzzles and then only gave us 6 questions to answer. Like, why would you be that much of an asshole to people who are trying to help save your stupid race? Why we could also just say all of them instead of trying to
perhaps
kill
Sand
giants.
just doesn't understand giant logic.
She's very
No,
jealous.
it's true.
She's a
But
very
then we
small
could
person.
just
Yeah,
forget
just try and save people. Let the giant. Just try and keep the giants killing each other away from people, and let them just the dragons and Himrith
Alright,
just
where-
sort each
so-
other the fuck out.
But-
Where are we going, guys?
Not
But
really.
there's something more than just the giants killing each other. There's somebody that's driving all of this for a bigger purpose.
Yeah, big the dragon.
Yeah.
Well, I thought there was like they were driving this for a bigger purpose to have something else happen beyond that.
She wants to kill all the giants.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the
What to do?
plan.
That's her plan. That's her goal. We don't know what her plan is.
Well, I mean, beyond that, then who's going to stop all the
I
dragons?
don't feel like she wants to kill all the giants.
That's literally one of the only pieces of useful information we got out of the
Really?
order.
She wants to kill all
That
the
she
So
wants
when we
to kill-
talked to the cloud giant Zephyros, he told us to go to either the hill giants, the fire giants, or the
Well, he was supposed to be sending people to the fire giants and to the frost giants.
Yeah, but we're like the only like people who get stuff done.
They're
I mean,
Possibly.
Felgalos was supposed to do something, and you got
Litter
to
elbows for the win.
Right. Let's. Good thoughts. Let's wait for
All right.
Sithla before we get too into
We're
it.
we're
She
uh,
comes back and we've already done.
we're Zephyros is 18, unfortunately.
Seems to be that way.
Yeah.
Well, the
I blame the bard. He's
well,
Wait, is do we know if
Rapes
our
or bells?
Our bard friends captured and being tortured somewhere?
Who?
I mean, he was heading.
Racer
He was
balance.
heading into the Sea of Swords,
Yeah.
which, as far as you know, at this point is like
mess.
a huge hot mess. Some crazy,
Well, Zephyros said he
weird
left him on the Luce Isles. and came back.
whirlpool. Yeah, but I mean that is on the other side of the big hot mess
Yeah.
in the sea right
So we're
now.
not going to see him for a while.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to spend, during these 2-3 days we spend traveling, I'm going to spend 17 hours
Yes.
under Thunderwave,
Okay.
Web, Fear, Dispel Magic, and Magic Mouth.
Okay. Yeah.
That
Any
was
non-story stuff you want to go?
Oh
over?
man, that's
Do it.
Sand. She's got the magic mouth.
Yeah, that's an Arcana check of 23. I had to do this.
Damn. I'm gonna play a lot of solitaire.
Okay.
Hey, you want to play some cards?
Sure.
All right.
Don't play for me for money though. I don't really have any.
Let's get
You got a 3,000 gold piece crown.
Oh yeah, I'll bet it all.
All right. I will
Do you
bet
wear-
nothing.
do you wear the
Take
crown?
He does.
Nah, what's in the bag of holding right
I mean,
now?
it's not yours.
I would like to
Rick-
wear the crown right now though, if I could.
Yeah,
While
I-
playing
would say
cards?
We
Yeah.
probably should split.
Well,
that.
that's your majesty, the card player. Thank you.
Some of us actually need this gold for shit.
I mean, we can't do anything with it right now. I might as well wear it.
Oh, you can wear it, yeah. I'm just saying, like, at some point we need to take all this garbage we have
I'm
left.
slightly concerned about giving, and I'm just saying this to Artie,
Yeah.
as we're playing cards, I'm slightly concerned about giving Sand any money because she's just getting super powerful and she's eventually going to try and kill us
This
all.
is
I
in the
believe.
privacy of like your own bunk
Yeah.
bunk
Yeah.
quarters.
Sand's going to kill us all.
She's gonna what?
Yeah.
Jesus.
She's getting a
It's
little...
gonna install her magic mouth slash clairvoyance surveillance
Sam's
gear.
a slut.
So Sam's gotta install.
Magic mouth.
I mean, I'm the one who's literally saved your guys' life more than anyone else in the
No, she's going to kill us all.
This is what Sam's thinking while she's at her writing desk, meticulously scrying scrolls and
I think
keep
examining her
saving these
spellbook.
look at all these things I can use and help save my party and keep them safe because I love them all so much.
She doesn't need any
No.
money now because she's just using Cloth's arcane
What does she
stuff.
want?
That's not the only thing I got to do.
She wants all this money all the time. I don't know. Something's going on.
Yeah. Especially
Although,
now
it's
that she's
fine.
got her magic mouth.
It's fine because money really means nothing to me. Your worldly possessions are lame.
Hey, you wanna?
He says while wearing his like ridiculous crown,
It's Johnsy crown.
I look like a princess.
his gaudy crown.
Yeah, if you want,
Titus has been very stoic.
Here's one of the things Sam
What is that?
brooding.
That makes sense.
Claw weapons for a moment.
But is there any like
I mean, I'll give you a grand if you wanna build it.
I don't. It might cost more. Than
tools on the ship?
Not currently.
Oh man, we should get like a smithing room outfitted on the ship. Maybe we could funnel some of the fire elemental stuff to like a forge. Yeah. Okay, so where are we going?
That's the yeah.
We've actually lost more party members.
Everyone is down below in their quarters apparently.
I would like to use my sleight of hand in my card game with Artie.
What game are you playing? Did you decide?
Oh, but he's wearing his crown.
Go fish.
Yeah. We're playing President.
What's that?
You never played that? May have been called Asshole. No?
Sounds very American right now.
What?
President asshole.
Yeah. It's a game you play with like 4 people, and basically you try to get rid of your cards first by playing them kind of like low, and then you higher cards, beat that, and you keep playing until no one can play. The first person to get rid of their cards is the president, and then vice president, vice asshole, and then asshole.
Wait, we're playing asshole? Is
You
that
guys
what's going
are
on?
familiar with this game?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, see?
Yeah, I never heard of this.
We used to play it all the time and
And then the asshole has to give his 2 best, like in the next round, the asshole has to give his 2 best cards to the president.
president gets made of a rule usually.
Yeah. But, yeah.
There's
I
many
definitely-
variations.
Very interesting game.
Well, if you want, I have 6 side quests currently set.
What's
Well,
that?
some of them are interrelated.
Keep thinking that's a dice cup.
Yeah, what's important to us?
So yeah,
Oh,
collect 2 more
the
conch
heat baked up.
shells.
Yeah.
Defend the
In the
10
middle of the
towns.
Oh.
Investigate the mouse
Yeah.
pens.
Sorry,
No one
defend
is
the what?
listening. No one is
Really
listening to me.
I'm listening. Defend the what?
The 10 towns.
Let's consider this. You all are floating on your ship, Safely.
Like this.
trying to figure out what you're doing. So
Yeah, so.
Please.
No one is listening.
No. Okay, everyone knows how to.
Yes.
Alright, go ahead, guys.
Collect 2 more conch shells. Defend the 10 towns, which is the frost giants and bird standard. Investigate the maelstrom, which is what we do after we get the conch shells. Kill King Legophus, which is what we found Thanos, the ghosty guy. Recover the Dawn Titan, which will put us, that's where we'll probably be messing with the fire giants for that one. And rescue Feldos.
Someone who needs to be rescued seems like it'd probably be at the top of the list, right?
You think so?
I feel like 10 towns is the closest though.
It will be the closest.
What do we have to do with that one again?
Yeah, what are you doing?
That's just a bunch of frost giants.
And if we kill the frost giants, they probably have a conch.
Maybe.
I mean, our friend is in trouble, though, right?
Friend is in trouble.
How far away is this from?
He's in the Evermores, I think.
Oh, in there?
Oh, it's not that far.
What's happening there? What is that?
Well, yeah, but we're not going there. We're going that way.
No.
Why don't we just go help Feldos? Why are we going this time?
Because we don't have room for any more shit.
Well, we have a...
We have a huge ship now.
We
We
have
have
a
plenty
ship
of
with,
room.
storage.
And we don't want to take our friggin'
What is Evermore? What is that land?
You keep
Is
saying
that
we don't want to
water?
take our griffins into danger, but
That's what we've been doing
you
for a
just
long
brought them.
time.
I didn't realize that.
And we have a big ship now.
I kind of want to stop doing that.
Well, I defer judgment to our captain and savior.
Captain
Okay.
Sigla. I don't want to save Feldos. I want to do it now.
Okay.
I want to do it now.
Okay. Alright, and Feldos?
Evermore.
Well, you'd have to
Oh,
find.
we had to turn around.
And I need to leave for a little while.
You need to leave?
I need to leave for a little while.
Leave what?
This. I got shit I have to do.
You're on the ship.
Oh,
You're
you-
fine.
You got a
No,
broom?
I mean shit that I can't do here.
Okay. What's the Evermore's like? Do you know anything about it?
Is it something you have to do with fire?
I was kind of hoping maybe. There's something I need to do in another town where I have access to more supplies.
Rivermoot. Would Rivermoot work? It's on the way.
I do not know.
Mithril Hall
Is
is very
Rivermoot
word.
a town?
Rivermoot?
How about Silvery? I bet there's some really shiny
What
stuff.
about Mithril Hall?
Yeah, Mithril Hall on the way there.
Silver.
Okay, well, what do you know about
So-
these places?
Mithril Hall is the
What do you
dwarven
know?
city.
Oh.
Yeah.
You have friends
Yeah.
there?
What the hell? Let's
Where,
go there.
I don't have many dwarf friends.
We can make some.
Oh, look, that's a
but
Well, I was raised by pirates for like 9/10 of my life.
That's fair.
I mean, maybe pirates are nice. They can be nice.
you want to go to Mithril Hall? Do you want to go to what is it?
Fireshare. To the
Fireshare?
west. But we want to get we want to save Feldos, who is where?
You don't know.
Well,
We don't know.
in a moving, floating
Yeah.
cloud
That's the
giant
other-
castle.
Oh, I thought we knew. How do we find out?
Yeah, well, that seems hard though.
Yeah, so maybe we don't say Feldos.
I mean, you got a rough approximation, I believe, of where
Oh yeah.
they were last seen.
Yeah, we know it's somewhere floating above the
You
Evermore.
know where that is on the map?
Well, yeah, somewhere above the Evermore. So,
Oh, above there.
Well,
What
that's
do we know about Evermore? Like, what is this terrain? What is
That's
Is
the
that
other
a big
thing.
lake?
It's
That's
a
the other thing
moor,
that
so
you're
it's
going to
kinda
be calculating
swamp-like.
and planning. If you're going
And it's
to
ever.
that right now, you will not
so
have
it's
your
swamps
magic.
forever?
You're gonna leave?
yeah.
Yes, I need to leave.
How
Why are you being so mysterious about it? What's going on over there?
I got shit I have to do.
Yeah, if you
Why?
tell us, then
Yeah.
we will. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it sounds like.
We just
Yeah,
take
it
off
just
for like
sounds
a few
shady.
days.
Do you
This
remember
is
what I was
shady.
talking to you about?
Yeah.
Uh,
friends.
why don't one, all of you, fuck it, roll a history check.
History. I was still.
History.
That is a
No,
that
not
is
good
a
at all.
2.
Oh,
Wow.
that sounds about.
I don't add anything to
I don't know much about history.
I guess not.
Don't know much about geography.
Oh, I got a -2 on history. I
Oh,
got a
you
4.
do? You got less.
I'm not very intelligent.
I got 17.
I got 9.
Oh, that makes sense.
Alright.
Don't know
Nine.
much biology.
You should give Artie your headband for like.
I mean, I like the idea of selling stuff.
I'm going to need
I'm still wearing my
What
crown.
is it?
It's a Johnny crown.
Jaunty.
You should play asshole for the crown.
Oh, we got an icon now.
Oh,
I've been busy.
What?
Oh, cool.
Oh, wrong.
Oh, no.
Wrong delete.
We crashed.
No, we banned.
yeah.
It's gonna
Turn.
turn into an Indiana
Set them
Jones
up
montage
outside.
now.
I'll discuss with you later.
Just text me.
Well, I mean, Sam is coming.
Alright.
Oh.
So
You text me,
San
you can have the secret conversation.
What are you guys talking about?
San, you know a little bit about the Evermoors. It's just a vast, unsettled area of fog-shrouded hills, cold bogs, rocky ridges, small peaks. Typically crossing this expanse, you might spot the occasional castle ruins, crumbled towers, remnants of a realm far bygone. And although the region attracts many prospectors, no kingdoms or civilizations in recent history has been able to tame it. Savage hill giants, ettins, ogres, orcs, and trolls are known to dwell here in great numbers. And settlements that stand on the edge of the Evermoors face constant threats from these monsters. You, in the information you received recently, believe that floating a mile above the Evermoors is where Lynn Armal, Countess Sansuri's Cloud Castle, was last seen.
Do we know if the ship can go that way?
Your ship?
Yeah.
Your ship can go as high as you want. I mean, it all depends on.
Okay.
You might be facing more dangerous, strong winds.
And it is a big ass red dot on the horizon, so if they have any kind of defenses.
Should we paint it blue?
I definitely want
Paint
to
it
stop
black.
in a town before I
Yeah,
go
right.
somewhere like that.
Justification, the color different.
I could do a foot at a time.
we just put you out there for like 3 days, just like.
No, I can only maintain 3 feet at a time.
Oh.
Do you guys have a preference on either of the cities? You know, River Root?
Would I know anything
Or
about Rivermood or Micro Hall?
I would
Something
say
about
I would
Mithril
think
Hall.
so. You would definitely know about Mithril Hall for sure.
Even I know
Sounds
about
like they have a
Mithril.
quick
I would like
So
to
forge is definitely part of what I need.
buying and selling before I go to.
So you're not telling us what your secret plans are?
Mithril Hall
I'm not telling everyone.
is the ancestral home of the Battlehammer clan. It's a clan of shield
Technically, I'm giving
dwarves.
him that.
Do you want to know about Mithril Hall, or do you want to go fuck yourselves?
Can't be both.
It's the ancestral home of the Battlehammer clan of shield dwarves. It's a pretty much an impregnable vault beneath the frost hills with massive granite doors that seal its entrance. And it's home to a host of battle-hardened defenders waiting beyond. Despite its almost mythic reputation, Mithril Hall is more of a stronghold than a city, with tunnels to other dwarf holds hidden deep below its mines. Bruner Battlehammer recently gave up the title of King of Mithril Hall for the third and final time when he set out to reclaim the lost dwarven city of Gauntlgrim, which is the last bit of dwarvish news you received. His hand-picked successor, however, is known to you. Dagnabbit Waybeard is now the current ruler of Mithril Hall as a queen.
Oh.
Damn.
Lady
She is a
Dagnabbit.
bold leader and a fierce warrior, and her reputation firmly supports her rise to this position, and they are a proud member of the Lord's Alliance.
She married.
Not yet. Not yet. So, I mean, there obviously would be lots of traders in there, but it is less of like a traveler city in the vein of like a Neverwinter or a Waterdeep or a Baldur's Gate. But
Like how are I know my city is fairly like more open dwarven wise for to non-dwarf visitors. How is Mithril Hall?
And as all the
it
stuff
sounds a lot more protective of people entering.
So it's
Basically like an army encampment in the form of a massive ancient dwarvish hall. And you know, as San, that they would be very protective of allowing certain people entrance into this place because of its many deep tunnel pathways that connect to other key dwarvish cities.
They're probably friendly to dwarves.
They probably would be.
They probably.
They probably would be.
Okay.
Would they so they wouldn't let him in at all, or would they at least let him in far enough to do like some trade?
You think that it'd be more the latter if you were able to make a case for it.
Okay.
I don't really need to go in
I mean,
anyway,
I'm not
so.
looking for a
Come
hassle,
on,
but
it'll be
I just, I don't know.
So if
No,
we
you're
want to
just
save
gonna talk
Felgalos,
You can wear your
we
crown.
can travel to Evermore, stop in Mithril Hall, we stop.
Yeah, that
And
sounds
then-
good.
There we go.
Because not everybody needs to go to town to do much anyways, right?
Besides the holding of
It'd be a good place to stop and refresh
Is that our
supplies
best
and whatnot.
option?
If I pop open the strawberry wit.
for the photos and all that.
Yeah.
Got a lovely elvish fairy.
Maybe more of that sour one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's still
Congrats on that.
Dino.
Dino sour.
Oh, I found the paper. I'm taking it.
Anybody else?
Technically, I haven't given it to him that. I'm giving. That's just
Out of
something
character.
I will give to him.
Out of character.
Yeah, you're,
I don't know.
Providing him information. Not
Is it
a-
really strawberry?
Guys, I didn't want to say anything, but Sam's being really weird about going to a town.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember what I told you, Artie?
Everybody else?
Well, one of the things I need to do is I need to
Just
fix this
like
damn
strawberry?
broom so I don't fall
Wanna
off
try
it
it?
so
Yeah.
easily.
Oh, making a saddle?
Ooh.
You
Rope
need any
saddle?
help with that?
Does anybody need a saddle?
I got
I
it.
might have that. I want to see some.
Although if there's a forge, you might.
I may not look at it, but
You got your dragon armor.
Wanna try some
And honestly, I'll probably
I'll
give
do
you
some
mine
salad.
too, because I don't think I want it.
I don't know what can we make with these dragoning scales that would not.
Maybe you can make some armor.
Well, I don't want arm because I'm committed to my mithril armor now.
Oh yes.
Probably.
You
Sell
can make
it.
like bracers or boots.
But I want something that would help with dragon
It's
fear.
not looking good.
helmet that
Yeah.
covers your eyes so you can't see the dragon.
Sure.
Maybe there's some sort of special potion.
Okay, I mean, this doesn't sound like the most awesome place to go.
I got distracted.
That's
So I
okay.
get more pointing glasses on.
Jack, we need
There you
a
go.
better airship art because this art sucks.
You don't like
So,
it? Send me some stuff.
question.
It's fine
of-
for now.
of
It's
the
just a
DM.
little dinky. I don't know.
You mean the
Yeah,
map
it's
or
cute.
the actual
I like
drawing?
it.
Oh, that you want a better icon.
It's just not very detailed. Oh, we got some strong winds. Oh my god.
That's how we die.
There's like these iron bolt and like almost like ropes kind of dangled around for like holding on.
Ah, that makes sense. So
Yeah.
you-
Well,
you
it's
don't wanna
the
go
same as the
overboard, right?
storeroom. How things are
It's
secured
like
in
in those
there.
movies when like those bridges collapse and like all the cables kind of snap and like
Oh,
start
God.
flailing everywhere.
Yay!
Okay.
That'll be us.
Question of the DM.
Yeah.
With the dragonling scales, is there anything that we can make with them that would help resist dragon fear?
No.
That's not no.
Interesting thought, but definitely not.
No strange potions we
I
can
mean, I'm
concoct.
not aware that I'm drawn anywhere particular. I mean, I was interested in water
Is it
area, but I
Well,
see there's water in the middle of.
It is safe to assume, like as you were going through everything, that the attacks on the other cities were pretty imminent at the same time. So basically, Bryn Shander, Tribor, and Golden Fields. They were being set upon pretty similar timetables, and it's been some time since you were at Golden Fields. So the idea of going to Bryn Shander, absolutely, you could probably help in whatever state it currently is in, depending on whatever brave adventurers rose up to defend it. But those three cities were being besieged by three different types of giants all around the same time period, and you had to make a choice at that time, and you chose Golden Fields.
So it's kind of this
Okay.
like
Choices matter
Yeah, yeah.
And
in terms of like what you're doing in the days
Yeah.
ahead.
So,
We have
like,
to trust the people who were there too.
Felgos is alive and being held prisoner. If any of these places still have attacks imminent on them, lots of people will definitely be not held prisoner and killed. So it's kind of
But it's probably already happened.
Yeah, but
yeah, that's
the
kind of
thing.
thing we don't
also
know.
there should have been like people like us helping those cities.
Yeah.
Should have been.
Should have been. So maybe they're okay.
And also, they got attacked. It was about a week ago now.
Yeah,
Right?
they're probably either dead or success.
Can't save them all.
I like the idea of going to Sid Felgos because there's a chance there's a magic shell there, and if we can get the
I
shells,
really do want the shell.
we can fix this and fight the Blue Dragon Lady,
You
which
do
is
need
the main
you do
goal.
need 2 more conchs.
Yeah, I'm really into
If
the
you
conch
if you
picture.
hope to reach the Palace of Storm Giants beneath the sea, which from what you've gathered is in close proximity to this maelstrom that's formed in the ocean.
And so we're not
Yeah.
100%,
I'm into all that.
but there's a good chance that there's a shell
Yeah.
with this
Yeah.
cloud giant woman.
Yes, yeah. I mean, again, the sole
and
reason
Everlores.
Felgos was going to reach out to her on behalf of Zephyros is because she was the current leader of the Cloud Giant people. Lynn Armal, her castle, was considered to be where any Cloud Giant business was taking place.
You want to get involved in that?
So it's basically just like a floating castle city.
Well, I think you need to confront
That's
all
it.
the leaders of the different giant groups too, right?
Well, that's one of them is the one who's holding Felgos.
Right.
Yeah,
Probably.
this quote-unquote King Blogthacus, it was allegedly fallen from grace with the Cloud Giants, which is why he was seeking the Oracle.
And he
Didn't
killed
like
his
what
son.
he heard, murdered his son,
Yeah.
and went back to some secluded town by the name of Parnas, where he was trying to raise a new Cloud Castle.
Do any of the other dudes on the ship know? Because you said none of us know. Have ever heard that.
Of Parnas?
Yeah.
Who wants to roll a d20?
Woo! Let's roll it.
You need to get an 18 or higher.
Is there any,
Can
any
we-
modifier on
can we
this,
all,
or just straight roll?
Get in on this, or
Yeah, so you're not.
18 or higher. Good God.
I'll give you a +3 with all of you interrogating the crew members and pooling your knowledge. D20 +3. Who's rolling
Only
it?
one person?
One
The
person.
smart one.
Do you want to do it? Do you
Come on.
want to
Just a flat +3.
Nope.
No one's ever heard of Parnas, but I'm sure you could look into it.
Alright, I'll
That was
do
better.
that. Put that on the list.
what was the difficulty rating on that? 18?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
7.
+7 for history, but I still wouldn't put it there.
Let's go save Falcos.
Okay, but
All right.
we're gonna make one
Uh,
step.
First, the
Mithril Hall.
Mithril
Let's
Hall.
stop on
Okay,
Mithril
Mithril
Hall.
Hall, we're doing it.
Okay.
I've only heard of this place in stories.
Let's do it. Let's enjoy our elfish wine and
The fabled halls
Imagine my dad's probably dead.
get some rest.
And that's gonna cover the things that you need as
Ready
well.
to-
Sitting.
Mithril Hall, yeah, I can probably get everything.
Yeah.
But
Like one of them, the big one, is
I do
make my
wanna
broom,
kinda
especially if we're
learn
gonna be
the
flying
jobs
around.
of the crew. I just
Okay.
I wanna kind of learn from them and know what's going on, just in
Wink.
case they're not around at some point.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would like to just be aware of how these work, you know, and
Yeah.
running
Sure.
a ship here, I should know how everything goes.
Okay. I mean, it's a lot of information to process.
Yeah.
Uh,
we could all learn something. Right?
right
Business
now.
skills.
I mean, you don't have to tell me everything now, but just
Yeah.
that's happening.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I like that.
process of learning
I would
how
like to
things
assist
go.
with her learning how to drive this stuff.
I should take a screenshot because there were a lot of possible crew members, and you currently have, as you get to know them all,
Yeah.
you've got Brasik,
Rusty.
Oruskis, Delphine, Laz, Navan,
And there's
Zalthea, Favrik, and Nizroth.
And there's 8 of them.
8 total.
Can we just number them?
Actually,
like, number
8.
1, number
8. There were 8.
Ooh, wow.
2,
2
4,
left, right?
2, 4,
Well,
6. And then
And then
2
all
left. No,
left.
Favrik and Navan stayed. Let's say, whose name do we hate the most?
What's the hardest
So right now, there are 7 on board. We gotta get rid of 1.
I thought the O one was the one that won.
Oh yeah, you're right. Perfect.
Primrose.
All right. So we've got Zalthea, Laz, Favrik. Here, I'll do this on.
Z-L.
Yep.
Fodder.
Well, get them all over one more.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go. Mouse over. Mouse over. You got
Let's just put name tags on all of them.
Zalthea, Laz,
Red shirt number 1.
Favrik. Do you? I mean, I can actually turn name tags on permanently.
Oh, nice.
For that. Let's do it. Let's
Yeah,
try it
that
out. Let's
sounds
try it out.
Okay.
Alright.
I don't have it on by default because the other game's online. So I just mouse over it. Show enemies name.
Partial list, at least. I have the spell book I got from the other, that knoll.
Yeah.
I'm going to wipe that and make a backup copy of mine. It's going to take a long next time. finally put a chair on this goddamn broom so I don't get knocked off so easily. I'm gonna make some holy water. You never know. You never know when you might need that. And I got a couple of magic lines on this thing.
Wonder if
I got more cards to play.
So
Yeah.
that stuff I can like
Meditation.
make the magical items or make just the
Create absolute one.
Alright.
do like the
Already forgot all
physical
their names.
parts there and then just kind of enchant them with my spirit on
Fabio,
Sounds good.
Donald,
trying to see.
And
I
then
think I
do
could
some
turn it
twirls
up.
Luna.
Lawrence,
Do you have
Banjo.
a name idea for your ship?
Oh, okay. I wanted something elvish
Kirindil's Marina.
that is like inspiring, like hope or
It's working.
what's the word?
The Legolas.
What's that?
It's the
From,
name of the character from Lord of the Rings.
I knew it was gonna be Lord of the Rings. Everything I Google is Lord of the Rings. I was trying to make it something
Lord of the Rings is
different.
a big deal. You could just look up, I'm sure there's an Elvish language dictionary.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's working or not.
Maybe like the word for adventure.
North Star.
I don't think it's working. That's annoying.
Yeah, Sojourn.
Oh well.
Sitha's Pleasure Boat.
Still working on ship names?
That's what we were talking about. I was gonna see what the elvish word for adventure is.
Not coming up.
Yeah.
Sail the seven seaports.
Weird. Alright, anyway.
Um,
Zalthea, Laz, Favrik, Navan, Delphine, and Brasik.
Is fabric
And
in charge of them?
Nizra.
Kinda-
Yeah, fabrics are the leader.
Alright, fabric. Tell me a few things about the ship. I want to learn what you do, how you run this. Sure, yeah.
Run this ship.
It's like the role of the captain.
Okay.
You know how everything works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you want to divide your roles on the ship then? Because essentially, it is a lot of information
Yeah,
to
that's
master, especially in the
Yeah.
heat of a windstorm or
Okay, we'll all take it from
Battle.
I mean, there's 6 of them, 5 of them,
6 of them.
and 5 of us. Okay, well we can all.
Well, I'm downstairs working on my post.
Alright.
I mean, essentially, there's
Learn a couple
only.
of those.
I mean, you learn how to work one of the guns. It's pretty much the same for the other one, other than the fact that one's got an actual winch and 500 feet of attached coiled rope. But firing them is essentially the same process. That's straightforward enough for any of your more accurate peoples. And then the real trick would be 2 people working together to operate both the propeller and the furnace for lift and steering. Beyond that, anyone good with magic or repairs might be interested in learning just about how to maintain the ship.
What would you like to explain? Your shipmaster.
And then obviously someone being a lookout in the crow's nest would be also valuable for...
I would say
Who's
that
the most
probably be
perceptive
Sam
of this bunch?
on that one.
Probably a bookie.
Whatever a book you
probably-
might be.
He's probably got better perception.
Ibuki got caught in the collapse.
All
dead.
right.
Dead to me.
Is the Kabuki gone?
Oh.
I am a +2, so I'm not getting out of the crow's nest, whatever.
It's on top of a
Portal,
balloon? Is that
get up
gonna
there?
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
We don't want it to be top heavy.
Oh, my feelings.
I'd be sad if you fell from there and it's just like.
To be
Yeah.
fair, he's a monk. He's
Yeah, the
very
whole-
light on his feet.
That's true.
You can have pointy toes.
I can just
though.
jump right to the top.
Get pointy toes. and
You want to
claws.
be up here? Look, you look so cool up there.
Nah,
my God.
Oh jeez, it's really high.
with your crown.
All's clear.
Oh. Oh no, my crown!
Probably more like...
There goes 30,000 gold.
Turn around.
Titus will man the weapons.
Okay.
I can't find out what the word is.
What word?
The elvish word for adventure.
Oh.
Everything I look at,
Yeah.
won't do it or
Siri,
just like
Google word for adventure?
No. Can you find it?
Yeah, I tried to find that Elf Dictionary website.
Elvish dictionary.
Can you stick that on the chart?
I don't have it plugged in because I have the computer plugged in there. I could give you some. I don't have adventure, but I could give you some Elvish words.
Okay, let's do that. What do you got?
Hmm.
You look for
There's
it.
the name for winter breeze.
Ooh.
Okay, what is that?
Aglathla.
No, come on, wintry place.
Yeah.
Like a forest.
Maybe something easy to pronounce.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
There's the name for the forest of twilight.
Ooh.
Exactly.
It would kind of relate to the high forest, I guess.
Okay.
Der Mista.
I kind of like that.
You know that, well, not that you want to reuse Faerun, but while you're recollecting on Elvish words, Faerun is actually Elvish for one land in Old Elvish.
Take one more option.
Regal Lady is Loranlas. Loranlas. So your ship could be the Regal Lady in Elvish.
You like that?
Sure.
Oh, wait, say it again?
Maybe it's Loranlas or Larenlas.
Slippery slope before we start calling people that.
Wow, that's our shit.
Alright, that's what it's called.
There you go, I typed it in the chat.
No.
Loranlas.
Literally no word that I put up.
It almost sounds like French for the.
Or
queen.
Legacy of the North is Noramath.
We're elegantly.
I like the
Regal Lady?
Regal lady.
Yes,
Lady.
Larenlas.
Like,
Larenlas.
alright, I've decided.
Right, we're now on
We
Larenlas.
are aboard the Larenlas.
the Regal
Regal
Lady.
What was I say? Lassie.
I was gonna say we can call it Lassie.
There you go. It is on the ship map.
Nice.
Regal lady. Oh,
So yeah, what roles or jobs are people taking upon themselves?
Sort of really going in the crow's nest.
I don't know.
I can control
thought
the.
Sand would go up there, so you know.
Sand's down
Sand's
at the desk.
Yeah, Sam's not doing it much.
I mean, not everyone has to have like an active role on the ship. Some
Blended
people
steering.
might need the ship's travel time to do things down below.
Okay.
I mean,
Plus, like
long-
the
long
dragon,
term,
the
Yeah.
dragon
I
crew
probably
people
could, but right
can,
now, while I have all this free
can
shit,
handle like
That's
most
a good
things.
call.
I also can't imagine Sand climbing up and down the rigging, but she'd probably use her broom to just float up
Yeah,
there.
well, I just thought it would just be easy, but that's fine.
I hopped up there
You
and
can do that later.
We should all learn. Like we don't have to actually do the stuff because we have lackeys for that.
I know, but what if something happens? It's good to know things.
It's true.
we don't have to do it right now.
No.
I got you. All
Hopefully-
right.
Hopefully we should all
Fair
learn
enough.
something.
I mean, given enough time, like most of the tasks are trivial enough that, given the amount of travel time you have ahead of you, you can all learn enough to not be caught flat-footed should your lackeys no longer function.
Be ready for anything.
It seems like mostly
Captain should be
needing
ready.
to control
Captain should also go down
the
with the
thrust
ship.
and the lift are the two main things.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need people working pretty tightly in unison for
And the
that.
crow's nest just basically all I can do is sit there and look.
Anyway, I'm going back to drinking wine. I'm
San,
gonna
what
meditate
what
and
room
refresh.
are you in down below?
I want the best.
That one's fine, I guess.
Okay.
Is that the best one?
The one with the nicest desk and the most fun.
I mean,
I mean-
we're obviously gonna have to share.
And if they're not using any of the ink, I'm gonna go around to all of the rooms and corrupt the link.
Probably the ladies should be in one room.
Okay.
No one
Why?
should move
That's
the
sexist, Titus.
What if we each want a room to ourselves?
Well, there's 4 rooms.
There's only so
Four
much room.
rooms.
So why do we have to pair up? Why do the women have to pair up, but the men all get
Yeah,
their
that's
own rooms?
yeah, we're definitely.
I mean, I can just stay in the storage area. I'm fine.
Well, the
I don't
storage
need a
area is
room.
where the other guys
Sexist.
are.
No, me and Artie are.
We're
Are we bunking
Okay.
up?
We're playing cards.
All right,
Oh, we're
Artie,
walking up.
Artie and Flint are in one of the bigger rooms. Seetha's got one of the bigger rooms to herself, and then Titus and San have their own rooms opposite each other.
It's
Okay,
weird. Flint just
that's
keeps
fine.
telling me that the sword is good and sand is
So we
bad.
have the
I don't know
rooms.
what's going
Very
on.
important.
So,
Alright,
I would never say that to you.
Okay, so I'm
This is
gonna,
where
I'm
I
gonna
know,
take
just
a
be cautious.
rest and, just get all refreshed.
Oh yeah.
For
She's
the
a bit
city,
secretive.
Just take this all in, be in the moment.
Okay.
Nice.
Titus is going
Everything
to
is
plan the
adorable.
destruction of his enemies. And attune more to
All right. All of your lackeys are operating the ship.
Just wait, talk to me at certain points, or like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, all the time.
I don't know if it was like a constant thing or more in battle, or how many vibes from Wave, or just like, what a day.
What a day.
Yep.
So much has happened.
What a day.
We're gonna get to the coast at
Chase
some point, but
Hmm.
a few things to take care of.
Gotta get you on the G chats because I don't like having.
Yeah, the do the chat.
Can you G chat me? I just try to minimize the number of things I have open during game time. See if you can message me real quick. I hit the bag of holding.
What?
The toilet.
How much
holding-
can it
Toilet
hold?
holding.
You see Patrick Stewart's going back to do another Star Trek series?
No?
Yeah, he's gonna do like the continuing adventures of Captain Picard.
For real?
Yeah.
What if Jay knows that? You just started watching movies.
Original
Just
series,
beginning,
yeah.
How do you add just a single person to one of these?
Which
Oh, there.
Yeah.
Where's Ryan?
Right?
Did they both go to Oh.
I called Jason and it was working.
Yeah. I was confused.
Right.
Star Trek.
Captain
What?
Picard.
Yeah, I heard about that. Like, is that like
Yeah.
for a new show?
Yeah, he's gonna do a new show called Old Picard, I guess.
Ooh, that's
Oh my God,
awesome.
isn't that crazy?
I can't believe they're doing that.
I'm
But
so on point.
it's on their whatever CBS All Access, like their Netflix or whatever. But it'll eventually come to other
Is
things.
there playing do they run the latest series?
I don't know what they have on that. I think that's America only. To be honest,
Oh, probably.
it's All Access,
Yeah.
whatever.
Are you able to message me on there, or should I just pop over to Facebook?
Oh, I got it.
But then I think all Star Trek is on Netflix. Any of them you want to watch.
Maybe it was just on there first.
Oh, got it.
There's nothing fast. You don't need anything. Not there.
Do you want to keep this thing? That's very cool.
No, I printed it specifically for you. Great news. You're supposed to burn them.
But let's say I did. Is it possible I can still attune further to my trident, right? I haven't reached full level of.
That is correct.
If I reach level, can I do that while we're hanging out? Just like brood over how to kill my enemies.
You can certainly try,
And
but having just recently unlocked,
I'm looking for
Was that
I didn't-
recent?
step down.
Pretty recent.
Bars.
pretty recent.
Detail?
Yeah.
Do that.
39.
Ooh, never mind.
Super instant tutor.
Because it's sort of a long-term thing,
Like,
Yeah.
binding
Right,
further
so-
and further with your gods, so to
I was
speak.
And then we switch over to Onyx. Follow up the
big bars, we were like 50.
Oh.
And this was kind of smaller, it was like 35. And I switched to score, which is 25. And now I've ordered some specialty protein bars that are 20.
Yeah.
Just kind of slowly
it down.
working it down. It used to be like really hard for me
You're
to keep
really
under
hard to
200.
get through some
Yeah.
ideas.
And I'm like very
It's helpful.
staying under
It's helpful.
You look like you're Bizarro
Okay.
today
I
with
keep
your
my calories. I'm supposed to be keeping under 2,200. I'm keeping close to 2,000.
Right.
Very good. And when I looked up online, like, and like my age, height, and weight to maintain, I need to do about 4,500 calories a day.
Oh,
So cutting that down by 2,500 is just
that should do
going
good.
shit like crazy.
Yeah.
I did 482 this morning. So that's 18. You remember like how recently I hit 499?
Yeah.
482.
No, almost.
Some
done.
Yeah. 5 more pounds and I'm straight under loss.
Wow.
Very cool.
I just need to do that 2.5 more times.
They're not more time.
There you go.
Well, I figure if I can maintain 18 a month, which I'm under right now, like it's under a month and I've already lost it, and if I can keep that for the rest of the year, I'll be under 400 before 2000.
Really good.
Which hopefully it'll start falling off faster now that I come home again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Like I did it that one time, and then my ankle, like right here, just started hurting my heel.
Your Achilles?
Yeah. So everyone's like, no, just stop. If you mess that up, you're going to be not able to walk for like weeks.
Yeah.
So stop.
Yeah. It takes time to condition the body for that kind of stuff to get.
But yeah, and then I did I walked home from the liquor store and it didn't hurt, and I walked home from your place and it didn't hurt.
Nice.
And I walked here from home and it didn't hurt. Not all of it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. But I mean, I walked to the Skype and took it to my friend's store and walked all the way from there. And I think tomorrow I'm going to try and walk around here.
Nice.
Good.
I'll walk from my place to Canyon Bridge, across Canyon Bridge, and
Nice.
So,
it's about 40.
you spend, what would you calculate, Mr. Hall?
Is that?
That looks about half the distance, so it's like 150 miles.
Yeah,
8 miles an hour. You said we're. Should take us a day, right?
Well, yeah. 192 miles in a day.
Just go. This is the worst FaceTime.
If we're getting good wind and everything. Or generic.
Because if we travel for 24 hours, we go 192 miles.
Yeah.
That looks like about 150 miles from where we were.
Is there an adventure song?
So we're going
Out there.
underneath Global Life?
Meet them. Oh, I like this song.
The Final Fantasy song.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I said good music.
This is one of the Airship songs, isn't it?
I don't remember which one this is.
It's the Opera House song. No.
Celeste?
I think, I was going to say, I think it was Roses. One Fantasy 2.
You guys are good.
No, you're right, yeah.
Several days pass.
Several.
Several
No,
I don't know, how
It'll take one.
Takes about
It
a
would take
day.
one day.
It doesn't work. I'm going to see if I can do it.
We go about
I don't know. I'm not doing math.
192 miles in about a day.
I'm refusing to do travel math today.
That's fair,
In a
that's
day.
fair.
Day or
Well,
so.
from
A
what
day
we
or two
figured-
go by,
That's
depending
a
on the
good
fluctuation in wind. But you touch down a little less roughly than you saw the ship initially land outside the Eye of the Allfather. You land nestled on the opposite side of the Cerberan River.
About 150 miles.
And you are about an hour, in terms of finding a safe place to actually land this thing. You're about an hour on foot from the entrance of the massive granite doors that lead into Mithril Hall. Your war pony, did you bring that fucker aboard?
Is that more-
Tethered up
Get up
on the
the
deck
front
or
Oh, shit.
down
Below
below?
deck.
I totally forgot I had a
Just
small...
shitting in the bag of holding, filling it up rapidly.
The toilet of holding.
Time to empty the toilet of holding.
It holds like 1 ton of excrement, doesn't it?
I think we should just make it canon that this place is equipped with like a small closet that is like a toilet of holding.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Interesting.
Well,
All our
let's see it
shit
on
just goes to
TV.
another plane.
Before we get too far, a few other things I needed to identify. The gems from the mole statue that he got. The breastplate we got from Ageron.
The breastplate from who?
Ageron, the ghost.
Oh, Igron. Yeah, okay.
Ageron, okay. The amulet that Flint found on Wormblot. The rune shard that Flint.
All right, hold on. Stop.
Long list.
Here, you can have my crown. There you go. You guys go crash in my crown. I'm gonna miss it.
It'd be funny if it was like a curse crown when you put it on, like spikes, just like
It's like an Iron Maiden crown kind of thing.
yeah, it reduces your intelligence by 8.
Well, that's not gonna do much.
He'd be like
Negative.
a vegetable.
Ooh.
Like being around him would actually make you forget things.
Hold the door.
Like a black hole.
Hold the door.
I totally forgot I had this list of random shit. I should probably identify it before I leave.
Igron.
And I hope we get attacked on our way to the hall.
Why would you wish that?
Igron's plate mail armor is a very rare plate mail with a +2 bonus to AC.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Just like many magical things, it resizes to the shape of its wearer. So despite being in the size of a giant initially, it would resize to suit you.
Damn.
If you don't wear armor, you two both have better armor than that already.
Who had
It
the
is better.
gems from the
The
statue?
whole statue lot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are those the ones that I took? I don't know, what are they called?
Oh, the mole. He got he cut the gems out of the eye of the mole.
Yeah.
I don't think I did anything with that.
Swap them out.
You have like my crown. It's just crown.
Yes, it's cool.
Okay.
But
Delightful crown.
it's very, very expensive.
Oh, all right, go cash it out.
Is that better than the armor I got?
I don't think you could wear plate mail.
Oh, I can't wear it.
No, it'd be very heavy and
Okay.
restrictive to your
I think she
quick
can.
movement. I mean, you could.
She
Well,
can,
that's
but
not
but she'd only get a +2 dex bonus, whereas she's wearing leather and getting a +5.
No, true.
This dex
Okay.
bonus, it would I think it would end up exactly.
It would
the
hinder a
same.
lot of your
Yeah,
dexterity,
And you wouldn't
basically.
be stealthy anymore.
That makes sense.
This
How many
is-
of the gems did you take from the statue?
Just
Two
two
eyes.
eyes.
2? I mean, they're basically just 2 uncut gems. You'd appraise them approximately at 100 gold piece each.
Like, what's your AC right now? It would be 18.
What else are you identifying?
You're already 18? Alright. So I'll take the next plate. The 2 rune shards and the amulet.
Oh, the rune shards from the Eye of the Allfather.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum.
Do I still have an ice dagger?
Yeah, well, I was one of them, right?
Yeah, that's one that he's praising.
Oh, I don't have it?
You do
Well,
have
you
it.
handed it to me to
Oh, I
identify.
did. Yeah. What? I forgot. Sorry.
Bless you.
Like, tried to stop it. It was too strong.
The shard of the ice rune, ISE, which is a literal shard of ice, is a long, slender, almost dagger-sized thing with a rune glowing on the inside of it. So basically, it's just like a frozen dagger that doesn't seem to melt. It bears the properties of a frigid touch. As an action, you can touch a body of water and freeze the water in a 10-foot radius sphere around the spot that you touch with the ice dagger. Once you use this property, you can't use it again until you've finished a short or long rest. Frost Friend. You have resistance to fire damage while wielding this dagger. Icy Mantle.
That would be handy against fire.
It's a good one to hold on to.
As an action, Icy Mantle. As an action, you can touch yourself or another creature with water on your finger. The water creates an icy mantle that sort of freezes around you for protection. The next time within the next minute that you take bludgeoning, slashing, or piercing damage, that damage is reduced to 0, and the mantle shatters and destroys, like ice. Again, short or long rest only. There are so many things on here. Winter's Howl. As an action, you can cast Sleet Storm. Spell save DC 17. So basically, you can cast the Sleet Storm spell.
So maybe you should just print up cards and we can just cancel.
Yeah.
These are all
This is
things
basically
that we
this is basically like the equivalent of like
That's
some
all
sort of
one
like
item.
primitive like arcane rod in the form of like an ice dagger that has this glowing rune that just seems suspended, frozen in the liquid water inside of it.
I'm guessing the other one is the same, just a bunch of different.
Who had the other one?
Well, I had both of them. So they both
Well,
gave
who
both.
originally looted?
Got it.
Just because that's where I have it in my list.
The other one. Yeah, the one from. How did you pronounce it? Ageron?
Oh, Igron.
Ageron?
Igron had the other one.
Yeah, he had it in his hand.
That will help me track it down. Oh, Opal of the... Oh, it's an Opal of the Ildrune.
That's the one I have.
Yeah. A triangular fire opal, measuring about 3 inches on either side and half an inch thick. Shimmering inside of it is the Ildrune, which is giant for fire. Shimmers within the core, causing it to be slightly warm to the touch. The opal has the following properties which work only while it's on your person. It's got Ignite. As an action, you can ignite an object within 10 feet of you. Must be flammable. And the fire starts in a circle no larger than 1 foot in diameter.
I do like setting people on fire, things on fire.
Fire's Friend. You have resistance to cold damage. Fire Tamer. As an action, you can extinguish any open flame within 10 feet of you. You choose how much fire to extinguish in that radius. And these ones are things that are just all the time, not short or long rest
I'm
only.
working like an element.
Gift of Flame. You can transfer the opal's magic to a non-magical item, a weapon or a suit of armor, by tracing the rune there with your finger. The transfer will take 8 hours of work that will require the 2 items to be within 5 feet of each other. And at the end, the opal is destroyed and the rune will appear in red on the chosen item, which gains a benefit based on the form. If it's a weapon, it will now deal an extra 1d6 fire damage on any target it hits. If it's armor, it will now become a more rare item that requires attunement, and you have resistance to cold while wearing the armor. And I think that's actually the same for
Use it already on my-
the one that Sinkla has. Might as well just finish going through it. So yeah, it's got the same thing. Gift of Frost. You can transfer it to a so it has to be already non-magical, like a cloak, a pair of boots, and hers only works on a cloak or boots, according to your assessments. Same idea. It takes about 8 hours. The cloak would then become a rare item that requires attunement. While wearing it, you'd have resistance to fire damage and advantage on stealth checks while in a snowy terrain. If it's boots, they now become a rare item that require attunement. You ignore difficult terrain while walking, and you can walk on water.
Jesus.
Okay, I see what you did there. I see what you did.
So neat. And then, was there anything else?
The amulet from Worm Block.
Worm block. Ah, yes.
War block.
The guy we killed. The
The
barbarian.
one that didn't get eaten.
Yeah.
Worm block.
I think, no, he got tail smashed in there.
Yeah.
Okay, you try this.
I ate the witch.
You ate the witch.
Dinosaur me ate the witch.
You ate the shaman. The witch turned you into a dinosaur.
Don't entrance.
That was good.
Monster. Monster.
Worm block.
Like, did you like taste it on your breath after you burped?
I feel like right? Because I can't
You said there was a
possibly.
slight metallic taste.
I ate 3 people. Like once I transformed back into a human, I just can't fit that much. It went somewhere.
Wormblot had in his possession, though in a primitive form, a amulet of proof against detection and location.
And
You can't be targeted by magic or perceived through magical scrying sensors. A holy symbol representing some sort of northern god or pantheon is present on this in the form of a runed symbol.
Yeah, let's stop keeping, Zephyros.
Well, Zephyros already can't get to us because the dragons people. So.
Yeah.
But then if one of us were to just scramble together.
Who was holding that amulet
Artie.
originally?
That might be good for
I think he said
dealing
he
with
found it and tossed it to me, so it'll either reflect or
Oh yeah, I have it on you.
What?
it requires
All right.
a tomb, I assume, right?
Fair
What's that?
enough.
Requires
That's
a
good.
tomb.
That's good.
It does indeed.
Oh boy.
We don't know using it.
Maybe give it to Artie. Got nothing.
I have absolutely nothing.
You should be using this fire amulet and this ice dagger to do this elemental beast.
Oh wait, no, I have a potion of mind reading.
It doesn't require a tomb.
And my bag of tricks.
Artie doesn't know that.
So, you've learned more about your new vessel. You've traveled about a day and a half, let's say, and landed about several hours from the gates of Mithril Hall, where you were able to safely land the ship according to Fabric. You can travel on foot, or one of you can travel on War Pony, or summon mount.
Horse, war
But the
pony.
gates of Mithril Hall are about 3 hours north of where you've
Probably
landed.
save the ship.
You are now nestled just north of the Evermoors, between the Lurkwood and Moonwood forests, at the base of the Frost Hills, home to Mithril Halls.
Artie, you should come check this out. We're not gonna see
Who
something like this.
was anyone at any point, if it was one of you, who would have been going up to the Crow's Nest? If anybody travels.
Oh, I was gonna hang that. Okay.
Roll a perception check.
Uh-oh.
Do you have good perception?
We'll find out.
He has +2, so.
It's exactly the same as
Not bad.
16.
18.
Oh, I got no 16 with the +2.
Oh.
During your descent down above the Evermoors, you felt pretty certain that you were able to describe strange cloud formations, just like those you saw when you had first encountered Zephyros. The party. So basically, the party is able to recognize his descriptions. Like, I saw some weird clouds.
Guys, does that cloud look like a castle now? It looks like a cat.
So essentially, while many of the clouds were kind of like blowing and rolling over the Evermoors, you notice a very large formation of clouds that were not moving, and you are able to describe them well enough to your fellow travelers that you all believe that you may have pinpointed Lynn Armal,
Oh,
Sansuri's cloud giant castle.
easy peasy.
As much as possible, I would love to abstract our way through Mithril Hall, but let's just talk through that.
Sure.
How exactly are you approaching? Who's going? What's your
Imagine
angle
both the
for?
dwarves are going.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give my crown to the dwarves so that you can take it in and cash it in for something.
Well, Titus has the bag of holdings. So
Yeah,
we
I'll
probably
go.
put anything that we want to liquidate.
Yeah? Okay, I have a
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we
Liquidate some stuff.
should me and the elves stay because I feel like do they like elves in there?
Or maybe only the dwarves can go. Well, let's see.
Oh, that's a good
I'll go with you guys because I got the
See, I'm
bag.
not used to this because there's not, like, my city's not nearly as uppity about
You're in a much more treacherous part of
Okay.
Faerun than
Maybe we should hang back.
I'm just staring
close
with
to the
wonder.
Sword Coast.
I'm just gonna hang out in the crow's nest,
Um,
looking around.
That's
well,
just the
I
dwarves.
guess, is it forest that we're walking through, or?
No, I mean you're kind of like you're near a river north of the moors. There are forests all around you, and I mean you're kind of like in this sort of crossroads of a lot of geography.
I guess it doesn't help that the cities, doors and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's
hang
sell
back and
the crown, the aquamarines, the black sapphires.
I guess you guys just give me some.
I think I might have some things.
Pick up some milk.
Oh, I need milk.
Let me see what I
I've written down that I have cursed armor and chain armor.
Oh, that's right, the cursed armor.
Oh, maybe take the pony with you and bring back some
I have
more
a,
beer.
Feed.
I have a gold earring and a gold necklace. You could sell that.
Probably just the dwarves and Titus will go.
If you're gonna sell Myrna's, I want it to sell. I'll pay for it.
What is it?
Myrna's
Yeah.
necklace.
Oh, that one. How much?
It was, that
The
was,
one with the
worth
emerald?
200.
The one with the emerald?
That was the silver necklace.
Oh,
How are you gonna pay for that? You only have like 43 gold to your name.
Yeah, but I'm with liquidated shit, so out of my cut, I will ship 200 over free.
Oh yeah, I just wrote. Oh.
The silver necklace is worth about 200
I had a, oh, okay. Is that the one with the ruby?
with the fire emerald.
That was the one with Myrna's, right?
You know how much the crown is worth?
Okay, yeah, I'll
So
sell
I have
that
to get
too.
that assessed.
To get it assessed.
The crown itself is 3,000, plus there was like gems and shit too.
Oh,
Damn.
yeah.
Alright, is it safe to just have two of you walk with all this money?
3 of us.
Three.
Three? Oh, three.
And we're
Okay.
not walking horse, pony, bro.
Oh, they like horses there?
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, I'll sell the gold earring, the gold necklace, I'll sell the silver necklace. I think I'll hold on to the gold teeth. They make pretty.
I
That
got
works.
I have
I don't
a
know.
detailed
Might
dwarf
pay someone off
statuette. I
with
don't
the
know if
gold
that's
too.
worth
We're
anything.
gonna see Seattle with like a grill. all
It
of
has
a sudden.
magic to it that I couldn't figure out. I don't know if it's-
Hey, hi.
If you want, we could like cut some
I don't know
diamonds
if I
and put them
figured
into like
anything more out
a
about
gold
it.
grill.
You might
Hi,
use
you.
it.
Oh, apparently I have a platinum ring as well.
Oh wait, I have the others.
I'm gonna need you all to itemize all of the things you're selling.
Like right now, or do you want to do it?
How do you want to?
We could do it. I don't know. It depends on what exactly you're trying to do here.
Just make a list, kind of like we just did.
Yeah.
Make a list and
Do
then
you
make
wanna
a
like
value.
do that like off session?
Yeah,
Like
Sure.
we just like
Let's
message
plan
it
on,
rather than
let's
trying
plan
to
on-
hash it out now.
let's
Okay.
plan on buying things.
Well, that's
then.
just it. Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to
Yeah, what
get
do I
something
need?
while you're there, that part's important now.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
well,
I have a lot of shit that I need to do, but I don't know how much it costs because I need to ask you how much it costs, so that's a longer conversation. So whatever happens with this, I would take whatever my portion of that is from party funds and food and everything, and do as much of my big ass list of things I need to make as I can.
We can quickly gather a list of things
So,
we'll
like,
sell,
we
find
could
out the value.
easily try and sell
Let's do
like
that.
the aquamarines, the black sapphires, the crown. That's supposedly around 6K worth of stuff.
All right. Well, let's
And we can
let's
fill it in.
let's do this. You approach the gates of Mithril Hall. Heavily guarded, well-armored dwarves await you at the approach and kind of just, hey,
Stay friendly.
what brings you to the Mithril Halls?
We come to do business.
We like business.
We have plenty of.
We have to ask that you check in any arms, weapons, wands. They kind of look at you. That you don't intend to sell.
Ooh, I don't know how I feel about checking my sword.
Well, I mean, you don't have to come, but you're gonna have to give it up.
My sword stays with me, unfortunately.
All right.
You're welcome to wait outside.
You
Wait
tied us
outside?
any shit.
Yeah.
So.
I give him a small bag of like gems to sell them off.
We won't cheat you.
Well, I trust you, Titus.
I don't have you say it like that. That was shady.
So I guess I will turn over.
I'll hand over my arms.
Will Whelm let me hand him over?
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it is a dwarf
When
hammer.
you persuade the guards, like, this is my crafting hammer, not your.
Sure, you could do whatever you want.
Yeah, this is my
Anything that
crafting
requires
great
charisma
sword.
is gonna do shit.
Okay, can I help him with this roll since I'm chosen?
Yeah.
No
We'll
human.
That is convince them.
Yeah, you probably make
Convince
things
them
worse.
to let them know that we're safe and we're not going to start shit.
Natural 20.
Oh.
Hi. Fine hammer. We'll take good care of it.
And Whelm doesn't keep up at all.
Oh shit. I do need that from other things I'm working on.
Can we retcon that? That he convinced the guards
That's- yeah.
to let her keep it?
Sure.
Okay. Now we can enter?
You may enter.
I will give
the two
my-
of you.
My solemn vow as an honorable dwarf and the daughter of Asmarkson that I will not use it for any ill purpose.
Very well. They explain that only the quote-unquote upper level will be accessible to you. The lower levels of the halls are off limits to outsiders.
Is there any forges available?
Yeah. I mean, the upper levels, got everything you could imagine.
Okay.
The lower levels are more private, probably more dealing with the garrison, and then who knows what else. But
Okay.
I mean, there's plenty of shops. There's smithies, bars, and whatever.
Can I keep an eye out for a nice new shield? I'm using the same old shield since I started.
Sure.
Isn't your shield like
All
magical?
right. So
It's not. I just have a basic shield.
out of the two of you, let's do a flat barter rate. Essentially, most people will not, like, if something I tell you is appraised at being worth 200 gold pieces, another shopkeeper who would want to be able to resell it,
They don't want to make it money.
they're gonna pay you anywhere from 0 to, let's say in this case, 60% of max value. So who wants to roll a d6 to determine that percentage?
Oh.
Basically, you're going to get a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, or 60% purchase rate for anything you sell while in the Mithril
This is
Halls.
why I hate not getting gold.
We have some gold. I have 3,000 gold just in this bag.
Can I try to see if some of those guards want to gamble with me while waiting for my friends to come out?
Do you want to roll the d6? Or
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
No, I only rolled two.
Oh no. Oh, that's not very good.
You already rolled?
I just rolled two.
Well, I rolled a 1, so it's better
Well,
you rolled.
It's a good thing you rolled lower because basically the first roll through, 20%, you get 20%
No
of
point even selling this.
max appraised value. Well, I mean, you're going to run into that pretty much anywhere. Unless you're opening your own shop and trying to lure adventurers.
I mean, is
Well,
that just flat? Can we
Titus could always try and
negotiate
convince
from
them
that?
to, to pay out more.
If you're selling in Mithril Halls, it's 20%. You don't have to sell.
I don't know what this guy.
I mean, yeah, we could probably get a better rate if my city hadn't been overrun, but
So, on that note,
I don't know if I'd have any pulling
if someone wants to write down the thing, I could very quickly tell you what the maximum value would have been if you were buying it brand new, and then we'll do 20% of that lump sum.
platinum ring. God. Way better. Actually, Flint had one too.
Yeah, I'm keeping mine though.
Okay, fine.
It was slightly magical.
No, that was the one you got in the mansion.
Platinum
Ring
ring,
of Villafar.
100 gold.
So we get 20 gold.
So 20 gold. Someone writing this shit down? Because I'm not.
I will. You're the keeper of the
What else?
Write down the
Treasure.
money. Write down the money or the things we're selling.
2 black sapphires.
That's the one you got from Sifa?
Yeah.
Money
Those
will
are 1,000 each.
Yeah, the black sapphires were, so 2,000, 20% of 2,000, 400.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Wrong button.
Whoa. We're slashing prices.
Oh my god.
For the 2 black statues.
Okay.
That dwarven statuette.
Dwarven statuette. Other than it appearing to be something that could have potentially like held some kind of magic, it appears to be mundane at this point. It's 100 gold.
But there's nothing going on.
Nothing magical that you can
Alright, one more
ascertain.
gold.
It had like some lingering traces of it, but it appears to be
Yeah, I could've
spent
been
whenever it
able to
was.
identify.
The 8 purple gemstones.
Purple gemstones.
Yeah. Found them in the. Where did we find them? I think it was on the cultist.
I see 7 gemstones on you of purple hue.
Maybe there was 7 then.
Okay. Be 700 gold, 20% of that. Point
140.
240. Look at you guys. Correct.
So, I don't know if these would be worth anything. Small bottle of Dragon Bottle, small bottle of Mercury, small bottle of powdered nightshade.
I know what to say.
Random.
Those like reagents or something?
I was thinking of the road.
They have value. I mean, are you trying to sell them?
I'm just curious if any of them.
Well, they only, I mean, max the surface value is 25 gold piece each for each of those things.
What
Just
happened
keeping
with
them?
the ground? Did we sell that yet?
Oh yeah, the Artie's Crown.
Oh.
When we sell it, we make sure that it's called Artie's Crown. The
Whoa.
legendary
Like his
crown.
No, that's a big loss.
It's worth a lot. Maybe we should
Yeah.
sell it somewhere else.
Roll a d10.
Like me?
Yep.
Oh, the owner.
Actually, roll 2d10.
2d10. Whoa, what's going on with this thing?
Percentage?
10.
Okay.
16.
It's worth 1,600 gold.
Oh, that's not that much.
It was worth over 3,000. You told us that the crown itself is worth 3,000.
Oh, with the 5 gems inside of it. That's true. Okay.
So it's 3,000.
Maybe
plus the
1,600 is what they're paying for it.
Yeah, that's after the 20%.
Yeah.
Yeah, try to go with that.
Sure. Nah.
I don't know.
Emeralds. There are emerald gems in there. Ooh, holy fuck.
Doesn't even know all this crazy shit he's been giving us.
What is this thing? It's just a crown, right?
It's worth 6,600 gold
Oh.
with the 5 emerald gems inside of it.
So we would only get 1,200 for it?
Man, just keep the crown.
Oh,
Maybe we should hang on to it.
You get 1,320.
That's good.
Yeah, hang on to the ground for now.
It's your crown.
Yeah, I get to wear it again.
Maybe we can find a better buyer at some point.
Yeah.
What's too much of
Okay.
There's also the aquamarines.
Aquamarines. 500 gold for both of them.
Is it 500 gold for both of them or each?
500 gold for the 2 of them.
that? No, it's 500 gold each one, I
Yeah, sorry, it is each. Sorry.
think. 200 more.
200 more. Right. Thank you.
I just had gold necklace. Gold earring.
60. 780 so far, guys.
I don't see the necklace.
That's how much we've got so
I had
far.
gold necklace written on.
You've
Maybe
been
it was
adding it?
supposed to be
Yeah.
silver.
What about 80?
It was probably the silver one.
What about for the Draconis Fundamental? the young
20,
dragon?
400, 20,
The what?
140, 200.
The Draconis Fundamental.
The what?
It's the organ that generates their breath.
Oh,
I read about it at some point.
you're not finding a buyer here for that.
Alright.
Special.
I want to sell my chainmail, old chainmail, and do you want to sell this cursed armor? Is that okay?
How much did you need for that?
It's all the cursed armor.
What's that?
What cursed
What
armor?
did you need for the
I don't know.
silver
I wrote down here that I have cursed armor.
20%.
What?
I think we found it in the
Okay, hold
dungeon.
on.
Give you 150.
I mean, chainmail's only worth 75
Okay.
gold.
I'll sell it.
So yeah, once we split this up, just, yeah, 150 less to get 100.
And then what is this cursed armor? I just wrote down cursed armor.
Oh yeah, we got the armor of vulnerability.
Huh?
Oh. Who is carrying that?
It's in the bag of holding.
Oh, yes. It's worth 1,500 gold.
Q.
You're selling that?
So
I mean, without telling them it's cursed?
Shake.
Is that bad?
It is bad if you're doing it.
I mean, you're the paladin. This guy's giving us 20%.
It's true. It's jumping out.
Tennis is a bad move. F you.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
Mark that down.
This is what happens when he swears that
I
oath of
guess this
vengeance.
gold earring?
300.
300.
Gold earring?
I mean, if they're appraising stuff this well, they probably already know what it is.
1,080 now.
If not, that's on them.
I don't see his gold earring.
Oh, I wrote it down. I don't know where I got it.
Oh, what about those, the gems from Knoll? What were those worth?
Those uncut rubies,
Yeah.
they were 100 each.
And each, can we sell those?
Sure.
40 more?
Sure.
Still nothing for the earring though?
What were those again? Red gems.
Yeah, the gems from
It went into your airship board.
Okay.
I don't see it on
What?
No gold necklace.
It's 100 each.
Gold,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, or 40. Yeah.
Do you guys have anything else?
Oh, just
That's all I have.
That's it.
I mean, I guess if I'm taking this breastplate, I could sell my chainmail too, so whatever how you got for yours, just add it up.
75.
Wait, so
25,
72, right?
So 150
15.
times 20%.
Okay, so 30 for the chainmail times 2.
Sure.
Change, or not change shirt, not chainmail.
Okay.
I don't know if you have chainmail. I have chain shirt.
And nail.
Mine's probably worth less than that.
Let's just say it's chainmail.
So, do the math. 70.
just sell all my stones. Glowstone. Card. C-A-R-N-E-L.
What?
Carnelian.
Oh, the gems?
Jet.
Yeah, you have not sold those yet. You had 2 of them at 50 gold each, which would be 100 gold. Sold in the Mithril Halls for 20 total.
Alright,
So-
let's take what we've got right now and then try at another city, see if we can get a better price for some stuff.
Alright, so you're adding 1150 to our gold coat.
Okay.
Later, what are we buying though in Mithril Hall?
Well, I want a shield, if they have to.
I mean, you could probably find just about anything you can imagine if you can afford it.
But we should stock up on some potions, of healing, yeah.
Those are good. Those are good.
Right now we have 3 in the bag.
So whatever a fifth of the party total is, I will take that.
That's so we have 4,150 in the bag.
Whatever a fifth of that
Whoa,
is.
whoa, whoa, she's taking a fifth?
Fifth of
I
vodka?
don't hear her being like, hey, here, take my gems and sell these.
Well, you'll get your money out of this too.
No, I'm just messing.
You're not there.
I know.
Regular potion of healing.
Gambling. With a win.
Hopefully well. Maybe make some money.
Depends on how much I want to cheat.
A lot, I assume.
Yeah, so I'd take a fifth, and then you can give an extra 200 or extra 150 back. See,
So that's essentially a fifth right
so you
there.
get 830
830.
if I divide it by 5.
Okay, so
Wait, are you? He gets 830? Are you
If
doing the math correctly?
so I'd take.
I divided by 5.
That doesn't sound right. 1150 divided by 5
We
should
already
be
have 3,000.
It was four. Over
Okay,
4,000.
So we have 4,000 here.
Oh.
So yeah, subtract 150.
What are you
from
wagering
that.
with the cards? It's a 2d6.
It's gonna be what,
680.
680.
What game did we do before?
So Steeple will get
Are we doing okay?
whatever it
Got the
was,
highest
830
ones?
plus, so she gets 950 for her pen.
I don't know, how
You get
much have
950
they
gold,
got?
Steve.
Let's start
950
small with
gold.
like 1 gold.
Right,
I don't want to like rob these guys too much.
What'd you say? 680.
680.
Well, we each got a 6, which means let's roll one die again. Ooh, he takes the gold. You're down 1 gold.
All right.
Can I go again?
Yeah.
5 gold.
All right.
He's got a 5.
Wait, I'm gonna sleight of hand that.
Roll a sleight of hand check first, bitch. D20.
Oh, this would be.
What is my plus for this?
And roll it on the table.
Plus 8. Oh, 11. Shoot.
The other dwarf just kind of like watching, like snatches your hand and says, "Do that again. We'll be
All right.
taking you inside, keeping your soul."
All right.
Ooh. He takes your 5 gold, 6 gold total to him now. Says, "Play
You know
me
what?
again for 100 gold,
Oh.
and I'll forget your transgressions."
All right, let's do this.
We took 100.
Oh.
Take 100 gold.
Yeah, I give him 50 back, and then I order a I ask them if they're allowed to drink on their job,
Alright.
and I tell someone to get us some drinks.
Alright, you walk away with 40 gold.
Yeah.
Bad.
What are you guys buying in the hall?
I would like a shield if I can find something at a reasonable price.
Just a well-made shield?
I want a good shield.
And you said potions?
Oh, yeah, let's get
Oh,
some
yeah.
fusions.
We've got potions of healing or greater healing. Potions of healing are 50 gold pieces each. Roll a d6 for greater healing.
Oh, I'm gonna mark them. Fuck! It's only 1.
Roll a 1.
Potions
Potions,
only work 10%.
potions of greater healing are going for 400 gold,
Good. Yeah.
which heal 4d4 plus 4 hit points.
What's the normal price range for that?
It's anywhere from 100 to 500. Potion of healing, which is 2d4 plus 2, is 50 gold pieces each.
Yeah, we get 3 right now. How much do you get 1?
We definitely need more than 3.
You want 1 for everyone, or do you want 2 for everyone?
How much are they? 400.
They're 50 each.
Oh,
Just the normal ones.
The super strong ones are 400.
That seems a bit pricey.
That's small.
However, the 400.
Let's get 7. Let's have 7. That's my guess. And let's add 4 more.
Okay,
We'll go back.
Maybe-
4 potions.
We should,
4
maybe we
potions,
should
alright.
have 7 because then we could give. There's 5 of us. We had 10, 2 each.
Okay. Then I'll buy 7.
So you're buying 7 more for a total of 10?
Yeah.
Okay, so mark off 350 gold.
50. Good.
How much money do you have to spend on a shield?
Oh, I have 2,170 gold.
Is that party funds or?
Party funds.
You don't owe the party funds. Find something
I
shiny.
gave Sleepla her account. I mean, were you a 5th as well?
Yeah.
They told us 1380.
Which was what? A fifth of the.
680 would be a 5th. Or no, 8 something.
Well, if you want, you can.
Should have given him his fifth after buying.
We spent 200 on the.
Oh
thing.
yeah, we got a
Potion?
minus.
Yeah.
which is
So that
fun.
would be minus $40. So minus 45.
I just want to see. I don't need a new shield. If it's too expensive. But
So you've got around 2,000?
yeah.
So you have like 500 of that 2,000. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But technically, I've got some gold like on my first one.
Alright, is this deal over?
Roll a d20.
Battle. You're way
Better.
better.
17.
Sure, he rolls good when he's looking for a shield.
It was getting us all money. If you roll good on that, we've gotten 60% instead of. Then we'd have like 8,000 gold
This is
right
my first good roll.
You don't even need to work anymore.
They have a very ornate shield
Ooh.
in this one shop. He seems interested in selling it to you. Says he's been holding on to this piece for quite a while. 2,000 gold's not exactly in the price range he's hoping to sell it for, but he's open to interesting trades in addition to the 2,000 gold if you wish to have it. He describes it as an arrow-catching shield. Gives a +2 bonus to AC, and any ally within 5 feet of you that would be subject to any ranged attack within 5 feet of you, you can use the shield to surge forward and become the target of the attack yourself.
Wow.
It's a metallic shield, ornate with all of the craftsmanship you'd expect from a dwarvish smith of the Mithril Halls. Is there anything you'd be interested or willing to trade in addition to your 2,000 gold for this shield?
So wait,
He's still
2,000 plus for this shield?
Oh shit! Right.
I will leave this one to you.
So wait, it's 2,000 plus for this shield?
No, apparently, it's a pretty good shield. It sounds like.
It's not for the line.
Magical items are expensive AF. Give him either your spear or your light range.
It's a mighty fine crown you've got peeking out of your bag there.
If you so long for me. I've got some potions of pixie dust. If this interests you at all? We have 3 left.
Because dips a little sort of dirty pinky at the end of it.
Those
I have
drugs.
3 vials.
It starts floating a little bit.
Yeah.
Instantly addicted.
Is that all?
You could also promise if you find anything exciting in your travels, I would bring it to him first.
Right. I will never come back here.
He doesn't know that.
Should
I
be
guess
having
I
higher deal
also
negotiating.
a scroll of protection from fiends. A dagger I'm going to give you. And a light crossbow. Seems like you're not using it.
He seems not interested at all in the dagger or crossbow.
This garbage I
The
have.
scroll piques his interest a bit.
Interesting.
You're getting warmer. And he's kind of like looking at the scroll,
Scrolls are quite expensive.
still looking at you.
I have a scroll of protection for you to blade off you.
So
and
close. Is
I
there nothing
feel that
else?
he's, like,
Nothing else you could
Going
sweeten
to,
the
like,
pot
use
with?
all, like, the party funds for the shield. But he's like, no, you know, I
What's
can't sell
that?
our
What's that
stuff,
amulet around your neck?
Oh, the amulet of giant.
Oh, my giant speaking amulet? Or my amulet? So I've got an Order of the Gauntlet amulet. Oh, the giant one? That is worth a tiny sum. I wouldn't be willing to give you all 3, the pixie dust, the scroll, and the amulet.
You keep your pixie dust.
Yeah. Amulet and scroll. The shield,
And the gold.
2,000 gold.
The shield sells for upwards of 5,000 gold on a good day.
The 2,000 of yours, you have 800 of it is.
I'm afraid I cannot. This gold is not all mine to give. The crown is not mine to give.
And what were you hoping to do in this?
He's
deal?
rubbing.
Exactly.
He's rubbing his beard.
If only we could have retconned that we kept some of the other things that we sold and just traded those instead.
Yeah. Instead of getting shit.
Roll a charisma check.
The most charismatic of this group.
I rolled a 17 and I have +3 to charisma.
You kiss.
It's passionate.
So I'm but a humble knight. I only wish to use this shield for good, to help my friends, and to help those in need.
It has been collecting dust.
Will it help if we let you know that we're going to be using this to be killing a lot of giants.
I've also heard there's a giant castle to the south.
Dwarves are not fans of
Full
giants.
of evil
makes
giant,
Kill a
giants.
lot of them.
That is where my friends and I are headed.
And
To deal with this problem, I don't know if they bother you at all. But there's been a lot of chaos in the
You
lands
give
lately.
me the amulet, the scroll, and how much gold can you?
I can part with a fifth of it is 830 gold.
that's not a fifth of it.
No, that's the fifth grand.
From the part that we had
He's
originally
already
that is now
subtracted
being pulled
hers.
out.
Okay.
He kind of like pauses for a moment, tilts his head to the side a few times. Aye, very well.
Yeah.
800 gold, the scroll, and the amulet.
Very well.
You.
You know what we can do now? We can speak to each other and like giant speak.
Thank you.
You just lost 2 of your giant speakers.
Can what's the shield called?
You speak giant, don't you?
It's an arrow catching
Yeah, so
shield.
I'm
Dwarvish arrow catching
staying.
shield.
Oh, you're staying. You're not gonna come try and save the world?
I mean, we'll see how long it takes me to finish my stuff. I'll catch up.
And so this allows me to, within 5 feet, I can run in and take an arrow, or use it like protection.
Need those last
Yeah.
It works like the protection thing where you cast disadvantage on
And
it.
if you guys want to give me some extra
Well, no. Essentially, you force yourself to become the target of the attack.
Oh, okay.
It'll just basically be a ring of message.
I only have 5 7. That's what
I don't know, what do you think, Biddy? How long and costly would it be to make those message earrings that they have on that part of the world? Make one for each of us.
I don't know if I've seen those.
They've had them the entire first campaign.
Oh.
Also,
Because they can talk to each other whenever they're...
Also, can we equip them at my
Huh?
magic
It's
sword?
like a messed up battery in here.
Oh,
Oh.
I'll do
It's
that.
really all.
Whoa.
What do you want?
Holy
Fireball? I
motherfucker!
can also give you a full polymorph.
What's that?
So your AC
Nah, I don't want to body
Maybe
more
23.
23. You
Yeah.
have to fix that.
Fix it. It's great. I'm a tank.
Mine's 18 now.
Yeah, 18 I think is like the lowest of this group now. Artie, what's your AC?
I just got boosted it. Let me check. 18.
Yeah, 18 is the lowest.
Given a little bit of time, I can get that up to 20.
I'm at now.
Because I can... Actually, yeah, if I get
I'll say
into...
pleasure doing business.
Into,
Shake hands.
Into 3 before cover.
Aye.
What's that?
Kind of like puts the amulet on.
So if I get into...
What
If I get into
What's your AC
14
now?
cover, that's plus 5, which makes it
Jesus.
23.
You're never gonna be able to hit us
Shield,
again.
That's another
Well,
plus 5,
probably will be.
which
But
makes it
yeah.
8.
Some legendary creatures here that
Good text.
And if I'm hasted, yeah, I can get my AC up to 30. Oh, and at level 9 I'll be able to use a shield.
Anyone want beer?
So I can get out another...
beer.
Strawberry or
Hooray, beer.
It'll be very...
Strawberry what?
strawberry or your dice.
You're a tiny bit of something. Oh,
In very particular
fine.
situations, I can get my AC up to 31.
no. Yeah.
Was there any of the strawberry left?
Yeah, strawberry and your dice.
What do you want?
The last one?
Try the rogue paradise, whatever.
Paradise Pucker.
This is Witcher music.
I still think we need the red wing thing to play every time we're flying around.
Just a little bit left.
I like that.
Right?
Fun fantasy
There you go.
music stuff is key. I only remember it from like a
Legit.
Because there was more little.
Oh, was that the red?
Oh, we're
Was that the one?
The Red Wings, yeah.
Yeah, pick whatever spell you want to have here.
Stays last.
Last carrot.
Oh, and it's concentration, so you can get hit. Or if you get hit, well, it's a constitution check. So
Yeah. Fireball.
just fireball. You can also Titosaurus it up.
Nah, I don't want to meet any more people.
Or you can Titosaurus yourself.
No, I don't want to.
Well, then you'll be
Flintosaurus.
Flintosaurus.
Yeah. Flintosaurus.
But then you can't make fun of me for eating people anymore.
Yeah,
It's just yellow better.
Like I derive a lot of enjoyment from daunting Titus about his taste for human flesh.
So is that good? Or no, you're staying behind. You do all your crafting.
What about magic missile? Like that's a lot of dice.
How long did you determine that would take?
What, me? Oh, that's later discussion.
Oh. But in essence, you're staying for now.
All right. So Flint and Titus are returning to the ship without Sam.
Yeah. When anyone asks, we'll say that we wander off for the shield.
It'd be 64. If you do magic, this would be 64. Or a D4 plus 1 times 6.
Fireball's something.
So we've got a level 4 fireball on it.
It's
Okay.
a party pleaser.
Wow, level 4, 5.
Well, it's only level 3. It's only 1 extra dice. So it's 96 instead of 86.
Still.
Be a while before I can recharge that.
So what would we discuss? You want us to wait for you, or you want us to just go?
No, you guys,
Yeah.
I'm going to, I'll catch up.
Like, go to the castle,
Yeah.
the giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have other Sam's being appreciated.
Awesome.
I told you what I was doing.
Hey, there.
And I did.
Well, you
Crafting
can Titus.
stuff.
Well, I told you guys too. I'm building a bunch of shit. I gotta make making my broom safe.
Alright. Alright.
Doing some crafty stuff. I'm making some holy water. Copying some spells, duplicating my spell.
Holy water seems very particular.
I need holy water.
Well, you can make it.
I can't make it.
How to make it. I recently learned how to make it. We don't have it.
I just always keep some
It
handy.
would just be nice to just have a few hanging around.
I usually just dip my crown in water and assume that it's awesome water.
Certainly try.
Holy ground.
Holy crap.
Titus comes back and finds Flint drunk with all the guards.
Titus is not surprised.
Thank God for that dwarven constitution.
As you.
So,
How's that beer drinking? It looks
good.
it's fine.
It's the strawberry.
We can say we rested during our travel.
Yeah.
Right? So we're all
I would
good.
imagine so.
I just been napping on the boat.
Yeah.
And losing at random card games.
You won one of them. Did you lose the last one or you win the last one?
Oh, I won the last one. Right?
You now have, not that you are lacking for supplies currently, you now have more mouths to feed, support, and defend on your ship with all of your lackeys. Things to consider.
Crewmates.
Red shirts.
Not lackeys.
Yes.
I affectionately refer to them as our red shirts.
I mean, honestly, we don't need blue.
I give them all red shirts to wear. I'd be like, it's in honor of cloth.
They'll probably like it. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
We need an away team. Get them down there.
Oh yeah, before you leave, I'm gonna give you my
One
white
party
dragon
member
scales
and
to keep-
five.
keep my blankets. I'm not gonna use them.
My red shirts.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you
So-
got more white dragon scales.
Yeah, I got more.
Yeah. I kind of feel bad about it, so I'm not gonna use them.
With San remaining behind in Mithril Hall, Titus and Flint return to the parked airship.
We're sad.
we ponder for Titus' shield.
Look at my new shield.
I told you guys, and now at this point,
Can I pull my bow out
Oh, yes.
and shoot it at Titus? Just to demonstrate the shield?
Sure.
I just moved out of the
Roll a d20.
Jesus. It's drunken dwarves, I swear.
16
Pretty good job.
plus, I think it was like 5. I haven't used it in a while.
Just 21.
Boom! You quickly move the finely crafted dwarven shield with ease in front of the arrow, and ping! It just drops to the ground.
See, guys? Worth it. A witch for a shield like that?
No, Sans off crafting numerous things. So.
You surmise, should you try to travel to the heights that Artie has described the strange cloud formation, it would take you about 8 hours.
Yeah.
Are we going
Is everyone
higher?
ready to go?
Yeah.
Up.
In
Up.
a way.
Wait, so we're going out without the witch? Is that the plan?
Yeah, she said she'll meet us.
Oh, alright.
Do you
I
have
guess
an
we're
estimate how much
going.
Yeah.
Longer than 8 hours.
I guess let's save our friends.
Well,
most likely, I'll be back there with
Oh, Jesus. Alright, I guess we're going without him.
alright, yeah, let's get going.
Alright.
You make your preparations. Anything specific?
Cleaning the weapons,
You guys,
the armor.
Do you guys pick up any like health potions?
Oh, we got lots of health potions.
Can I grab a couple of those?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, everyone can have one, and I'll hold on to 5 in the bag.
Wait, what?
Why wouldn't we just hold on to 2?
Oh, so there's always a pool here.
Yeah, but then if we need it, we'll have to go into the bag and be like, reach for,
How many do you
use
have
an
total?
action for.
Okay, so that's 2 each, and you keep the other 4. Or 2 for him. Okay, because there's 4 of you, so that's 8. 2, so you'd have 4 and everyone else has 2.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Potions of healing.
2 potions of healing. Don't.
Wait, the
How
crown?
to get you?
I put the crown back on.
Oh yeah, and your crown.
It gives you -2 to your AC.
What?
Gives him plus 20 to his spell.
I get a little string and I tie it around so that my crown will stay on.
When you're walking upside down across the building.
Oh my god.
You'll have to add a crown to your drawing now.
How will they know I'm royalty?
So, Audrey
Sharky.
of the water tortoise.
Of the small bog.
Halfling core.
You begin your journey in the airship as you instruct Fabric and the cultists to chart a course towards the strange cloud formation, very, very high in the sky above the moor.
I'm hanging out of the crow's nest.
You're getting out of the crow's nest?
I'm in the crow's nest.
Okay.
I'm gonna man the
make
hut.
another perception check.
Okay, yeah, I am.
Perceptive.
Nine.
Alright.
Huh?
PTSD kicks it over here. No.
You don't really get a chance to make them out before
Uh-oh.
you begin your approach. But numerous flying figures sort of circle the cloud. And before you know it, you see one of them do like a flyby of your ship. Just kind of like a flying bird person.
Hello.
Oh.
Third person.
The cloud castle gets closer as what some of you may know as an Aarakocra. Like dressed like in some sort of guard's regalia, swoops past your ship. And just like it just lets out a cry that it's sort of screeching back towards the castle, and it kind of like turns upon you in the crow's nest. It says,
Huh?
"Friend or foe?"
We come in peace. We're looking for our friends.
Oh, oh.
No? Is that bad? Did I
The
do it
friend
right?
that they're holding prisoner
It screeches.
and torturing.
She's the queen. Is our friend
Saints.
something or other?
Sure.
Yeah, where'd the witch go? Show itself to us. Like a
That was-
screeching monkey.
That was a little wrong screech. Wrong screech. More of a bird-like screech.
Sure.
Just kind of reverberates up through the
Oh
clouds,
my gosh.
He has a cold.
Made something else up.
and it kind of floats between you and your destination. It says, "Follow me.
Okay.
Proceed slowly, and take no strange movements."
I will yell that down to the crew below.
We will yell it to Flynn.
Follow the bird.
Yeah,
Slow but
all
steady.
You begin a much slower approach to the Cloud Castle.
Ooh, grass.
And the Aarakocra slowly leads you up until you are landing down in one of the courtyards. And this is a very, very small image compared to like your relative size.
Yeah.
This door is like 40 feet high.
Chessboard.
It's a giant.
Yeah, it's a gigantic castle floating among the
Four
clouds.
giants.
Not to be too anticlimactic, but I figure we will pause there as I knock the remote off and you land in the courtyard of Lynn Armal, home to Countess Sinsuri and the Cloud Giants, who seem welcoming so far.
We can be peaceful.
I don't think we're very intimidating to them.
That's probably true. Is there any